Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
5 o'clock.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Andrew Cannon. Coming up in the news, opposition spokesperson on technology, Dr. Andre Horton, is criticizing Transport Minister Darrell Vaz for what he describes as his impulsive and poorly thought out effort to hastily ban free-hailing applications. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says the police have revamped and re-implemented the highway patrol. The St. Anne Municipal Corporation, SAMC, is again announcing a crackdown against illegal vending in the major towns of the parish. On the international scene, the leaders of Italy and Germany have strongly rejected ceasefire terms laid out by Vladimir Putin to stop the war in Ukraine. While in sports, host Sri Lanka women beat the West Indies by 6 wickets in the first of 3 one-day international. The news in detail after this break.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Opposition spokesman on technology, Dr. Andre Horton, is criticizing Transport Minister Darrell Vaz for what he describes as his impulsive and poorly thought out efforts to hastily ban free-hailing applications. Dr. Horton says Minister Vaz's recent action demonstrates a reckless, seat-of-the-pants approach to policy making. Minister Vaz had recommended the immediate ban on ride-hailing services such as InDrive and Uber following the abduction and suspected murder of school teacher Danielle Anglin. Miss Anglin purportedly used the InDrive app the day she was reported missing. But according to Dr. Horton, Minister Vaz's decision lacked the necessary thoroughness required for effective governance. He points out that for years, the opposition and industry stakeholders have repeatedly called for implementation of the necessary regulations for ride-sharing services in the country. Dr. Horton is calling for better oversight and a more strategic approach to policy making within the Transport Ministry. He says it's important that a thorough and legally sound structure is established that not only guarantees the safety and protection of commuters, but also promotes advancements and competitiveness in the ride-hailing market. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says the police have revamped and re-implemented the highway patrol. He says this is in a bid to counter the movement of criminals across the country.
We reconfigured and brought back the highway patrol system and developed a whole highway formation as a part of our intention to control the highways. We're not only there to apprehend and prosecute disorderly drivers. The highway has now become a prime mover of criminals because the police have had significant success in managing community violence. There are very few gang wars here around now. Even if the killing is a result of a gang, you don't have the street shooting up the street that will happen all across Jamaica. There's still tension, but it is just not like that today. There are no community challenges, but the men are there, they have firearms, and what they do, they travel on the highway. They go into a community, look for opportunity, shoot someone and get back out and drive. They sometimes take the passengers in the cars, shoot them on the roadway. We see much more of that happening. So our highway patrol will be on the road.
He says efforts are already underway to further boost the police fleet of vehicles, including those for the highway patrol units.
Of the control traffic and a far more greater presence. We are looking at providing additional vehicles. I think thanks to my team in the ministry, have identified some funds this year that we're getting some 40 or 50 vehicles very soon. And we are in discussion with the Ministry of Finance to refleet the police to ensure that they have strong presence on all roadways in the communities, which is critical to all public order, including sensible driving and responsible driving.
Dr. Horace Chang, Minister of National Security. He was speaking at the handover ceremony at the JN Fund Managers Building on Oxford Road, Kingston on Wednesday. Head of the St. Elizabeth Police, Superintendent Coleridge Minto, says there is a rising trend of criminals using the parish as a hideaway. Superintendent Minto was speaking Friday morning on Cliff Hughes Online with George Davis.
There are persons who are before the courts, persons who are on serious charges of murder and double murder.
Yes.
And they're from different divisions, parishes, but they give their resident address here. And so when they get bail, they are now in our parish. We have had persons who were listed on Westmoreland Most Wanted list. They end up here and end up committing criminal offenses.
Yes.
And unfortunately, some of them met their demise here. So that's one end. outside of those who give St. Elizabeth address for them to reside, there are others now who voluntarily come across.
Yes.
From our neighboring divisions. Clarendon, we have a lot of persons over here, Westmoreland. So we do have situations where persons are moving over.
Superintendent Minto commended his team for their successes in recovering illegal guns.
We do have those situations where persons are coming over into our space. Really want to offer my commendations to the men and women of the St. Elizabeth Division. They have been out there working and really doing a tremendous job. And if you see where the firearms are hidden in the vehicles now, it's not just under a seat. These men are now hiding the weapons in the consoles, and you almost have to strip down some vehicles
to find
the weapons, and sometimes to the annoyance of some citizens.
Yes.
But the intel we get sometimes allow us to go beyond just a normal stop and search and to say, based on what we're picking up, we strip down, and that's what led to the recovery.
Superintendent Coleridge Minto, head of the St. Elizabeth Police Division. The St. Anne Municipal Corporation, SAMC, is again announcing a crackdown against illegal vending in the major towns of the parish. Chairman of the council, Mayor of St. Anne's Bay, Michael Belnavis, said the council would be involved in an operation pushing back against illegal vending on the streets. He said several towns, including Ocherius, Brownstown and the capital St. Anne's Bay, had been overtaken by illegal vending. Mayor Belnavis said this was so at the same time that the inside of the markets were empty. He said the council had provided designated vending spots outside the markets, but in some areas, including Ocherius, vendors had gone beyond those areas in what he called a free-for-all. He gave no specific date for the action of the SAMC to commence, but said facilities were being improved at the markets before action will be taken. This included creating new sanitary facilities and paving streets adjacent to the markets.
What we're doing now is we're going to put an operation in place to get the individuals back into the markets. Because when you go into the market, there's a lot of space there. Brownstown Market space, Claremont Market, Ocherius, St. Anne's Bay. You go inside these markets, there space, but everybody wants to be in everybody's face on the roadside. And we're trying to do a pushback. What we decided to do is to fix the amenities. We're currently fixing the bathroom in St. Anne's Bay, and it's a nice bathroom with showers. So the Ocherius, I challenge you to go and look at what we've done. That one is complete.
In addition, he said proper management was being put in to prevent the theft of electricity and water at the markets. He said that is now costing the SAMC millions of dollars. Speaking at a press conference at the council's chambers on Thursday, June 13, Mr. Belnavis said he was making it clear the council would push back against illegal vending. He said no one should claim they did not know action would be taken when the council makes its move.
You know, when you go into Brownstown Market, it's empty. Everybody's on the roadside. By where Charlie's is and going further down the road, going up Market Street, everybody's on the road also. So we're trying to make it more convenient, working with the individuals, the vendors and so on, but there's going to be a pushback. And just wanted to set that out there so people are aware. So when we come, there's no argument that they didn't know.
Mayor of St. Anne's Bay and Chairman of the St. Anne Municipal Corporation, Michael Belnavis. On the international scene, the leaders of Italy and Germany have strongly rejected ceasefire terms laid out by Vladimir Putin to stop the war in Ukraine, as dozens of countries gathered at a summit in Switzerland to discuss ending the conflict. Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni called the Russian president's plan propaganda, which effectively suggested that Ukraine must withdraw from Ukraine. The German Chancellor described it as a dictatorial peace. On Friday, Mr. Putin claimed he would agree to a ceasefire if Ukraine withdrew troops from 4 regions which Russia partially occupies and claims to have annexed. Chief of Staff to Ukraine President told the BBC at the Swiss summit that there will be no compromise on independence, sovereignty or territorial integrity. Mr. Putin revealed his terms ahead of the 2-day summit on peace in Ukraine, which is aimed at discussing the basic principles for ending the war. More than 90 countries and global institutions are attending the event. It is the biggest gathering for Ukraine since the full-scale invasion. But Russia was not invited, and China, a key ally of Russia, is not attending, so expectations of significant progress at this stage are low. Let's now turn to sports. Host Sri Lanka women beat the West Indies by 6 wickets in the first of 3 one-day international. Batting first, the West Indies, they were bowled out for 195 inside 48 overs. Captain Hayley Matthews top scored with 38. She was supported by Stephanie Taylor, 33, and Shermaine Camberdill, 27. Sukada Kumari and Kavitadisha Dilari took 3 wickets each for the hosts. Chasing 196 to win, Sri Lanka reached the target inside 35 overs. The final scores: West Indies women 195, Sri Lanka women 198 for 4. And now a recap of the top stories making the news at this hour. Opposition spokesman on technology Dr. Andre Horton is criticizing Transport Minister Dara Vaz for what he describes as his impulsive and poorly thought out effort to hastily ban free-hailing applications. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says the police have revamped and re-implemented the highway patrol. And the St. Anne Municipal Corporation SAMC is again announcing a crackdown against illegal vending in the major towns of the parish. I'm Andrew Cannon. You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. News is next 9 tomorrow morning. But stay tuned because the dynamic duo of Wayne Walker and Alex Webby are up next with Sports Nation Live.
This outstanding 6'4" athlete credits Jamaica with her first Olympic victory ever.
Jamaica is filled with Olympians.
World record holder McKinley dashes into the lead.
We must never forget the forerunners of Jamaican Olympic greatness.
Coming into the home stretch, it's Wint who challenges the leader.
Win or lose, athletes never forget their Olympic experience.
Merely Notti has devastated another world-class field. And Hemmings is going to do it. Hemmings wins it. She's the champion.
Win or lose, Jamaicans will cheer the loudest at the Olympics so that the world will never forget who we are.
And Usain Bolt is moving away, and Jamaica retain their title, and the world record has been taken apart. Oh, I say!
From July 26 to August 11, tune in only to Nationwide 90 FM for the coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, because we're here to ensure that you never forget. Nationwide's coverage is powered by our bronze sponsors: National Road Operating and Construction Company Limited, Digicel, Grace Foods, Spirits of Jamaica, Imperial Optical Jamaica, and Rainforest Caribbean.
After months of preparation, Jamaican athletes will clash at the J3A Puma National Senior and Junior Championships at the National Stadium, June 27 to 30. For tickets to the Summer Olympics in Paris, Olympic champion Hansel Parchment, plus Oblique Seville headline the men's division, which also includes Rashid Broadbell, Rashawn Clark, Jaden Hibbert, Akeem Blake, Johan Blake, and Julian Fort. Olympic and world champions Sharika Jackson, Elaine Thompson-Herah, and Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, along with Rochelle Clayton, Shanika Ricketts, and Danielle Williams, will make the action pulsating on the women's side. That's the J3A Puma National Senior and Junior Championship, June 27 to 30 at the National Stadium. It will be sensational.
Taste it, eat it, drink it, applaud it. The 25th staging of the Jamaica Observer Tabletop Food Awards, the Caribbean's premier culinary event, powered by MasterCard, takes place Thursday, June 27th, Devon House. The one-night-only evening of excellence in food creation, service and event decor is sponsored by Tasty, Tourism Enhancement Fund, Red Stripe, Johnny Walker, Sagicor, The Best Dressed Chicken, Appleton Estate, Pepsi, Suppligen, Eve, Gold Silver Cinco, Rainforest, Main Event, Island Car Rentals, King Alarm, Megamart and Derriman Trading. Adults 18 years and over. Drink responsibly.
But is this real? Hey Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So much we have left? What? I'll soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene. Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come with me, let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Get ready for a show like no other. That's right. Every Sunday from 8:15 p.m. to 9:15 p.m., we're bringing you the Harvest Hour, only on Nationwide 90 FM. Join us as we dive into a soothing religious program created for your mind, body, and soul. The World Harvest Mission Church, creators of the Harvest Hour, is dedicated to making your Sundays God-fearing and saintly. Get a front row seat to moving sermons and affectionate worshiping. That's the Harvest Hour, every Sunday from 8:15 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Informative, educational, insightful. Let's talk justice. Tackling topics like constitutional rights and reform, domestic violence, and rights issues that affect you. Let's talk justice every Monday starting June 24 from 1 to 2 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. Call in, share your thoughts, be empowered, know your rights, and let's talk justice, ensuring access to justice for all, courtesy of Jamaicans for Justice.
Okay, good afternoon. It's Saturday, June 15, 2024. If you bowl it, we'll hit for 6. If you pass it, we'll score it. Give us a pool, we'll dive in. And as fast as the starter's gun fires, we're at that finish line. I'm Alric Straber. This is Sports Nation Live on Nationwide 90 FM, nationwideradiogm.com, and Flow Channel 916. You can also tune in to our program live on our YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM. And remember to like, subscribe, and share our content. Now coming up, we have another packed and exciting show lineup for you. We'll be talking track and field, golf, football, and much more. But first, an athletics lesson from 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24.
1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Did you notice when reading this verse that it doesn't say you must win or you will win? It is actually telling us that the kind of effort and dedication victory requires. Competing with integrity is the key here. Anyone can cheat and win, but what does that do us morally? It's not about winning at all costs or abandoning your values to do anything it takes to win. This is telling us we need to perform at our absolute best and have the self-discipline to compete in a focused, well-practiced, and strategic manner. If we do that, we will perform in such a way that will be nearly impossible to beat. Will we get beat sometimes? Absolutely. However, in performing with honor, we can feel victorious even in a loss.
Okay, so that was our athletics lesson from 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. Now, in our feature, You Just Had to Be There, we look back at Usain Bolt winning the men's 200 meters at the 2003 World Youth Championships in Canada.
200 meters final. In the set position and sent off. Bolt moves out very well on his outside, also coming up well to Michael Grant. So it's Bolt who leads them into the straight, away from Grant. In third at the moment is the Antiguan Daniel Bailey, coming up also on the inside too, the Great Britain athlete Alert, but Bolt is pulling away by about 6 meters and winning in a new championship record, 20.40 seconds. He decimates the record which was set before by Timothy Benjamin in 1999 of 20.72. So the replay shows Usain Bolt in that yellow and green outfit. As he runs a turn really hard, he covers almost all the athletes, including the man in lane 8, by the time he gets into the straight. Running on in the blue outfit, the American Michael Grant, but he's not able to hold on as Bolt, in the rain, wins gold, and looks a little disappointed there with the time. We'll see what the time is as Bolt runs on in the rain to get gold. Of course, Bolt is a world junior champion as well at 200 meters. A title he had gotten last year in Jamaica, the World Junior Championships, and 20.40 seconds, beating the record formerly held by Timothy Benjamin, 20.72.
Okay, so that was our feature You Just Had to Be There, with Usain Bolt winning the boys 200 meters at the 2003 World Youth Championships in Canada. With that, we take a break and we'll come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come with me. Let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
My dad is not just a regular dad.
I'm the G. Machaji.
The real big man. That's why we salute the boss.
It's not always easy to show that how much you love him, but for this Father's Day, say thank you to your boss dad with a gift from Fontana Pharmacy. Stop by any of our 6 locations to shop from a wide variety of products or shop online at fontanapharmacy.com now through Father's Day. Fontana Pharmacy, it's all good inside.
Okay, good afternoon and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alric Swaby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass, my technical operator. We'll be talking some Olympics now, as Nationwide will have exclusive radio coverage of the Paris Olympics from July 26 to August 11. And we highlight some of the security measures in place to ensure the safety of all stakeholders. Now, a major security perimeter along the River Seine will be set 8 days before the Paris 2024 Olympics opening ceremony. The French capital is expected to face major disruption. French 24 shares the details.
Today that the French capital is going to face major disruption in the run-up to the start of the Olympics. Well, the opening ceremony is going to be held along the River Seine on this 26th of July. It's going to involve 160 boats carrying athletes from all around the world on a 6-kilometre long route towards the Eiffel Tower. But this opening ceremony is proving to be a security headache, and it's taking place against the backdrop of wars in Ukraine and Gaza. France 24's Selena Sykes filed this report for us.
An unprecedented security operation for an unprecedented opening ceremony.
With 92 days to go, our goal for the opening ceremony is still the same: to put on an unprecedented show that will be watched by 220,000 people on the upper banks and 100,000 people on the lower banks of the Seine. A ceremony running over a 6-kilometer course that's never been seen before.
Paris 2024 organisers wanted to make a splash when promising to open the Olympics with a spectacle along the River Seine, in what would be the first opening ceremony to take place outside of a stadium in the history of the Games. But their big ambitions are causing jitters in a city that knows firsthand the threat of terrorism. French authorities unveiled on Thursday more detailed security plans for the 26th of July. Around 20,000 people who live and work along the Seine will be the most affected.
Everyone who wants to enter will be systematically investigated and will need authorization from the police.
A security zone around the Seine will be in place from the 18th of July, 8 days before the opening ceremony. During that period, security measures will effectively cut Paris into two, warned the head of Paris police. Security checks of properties overlooking the Seine, the closure of metros and roads to traffic, as well as stop and searches of individuals and vehicles, are just some of the other precautions. All with the aim of pulling off an Olympic ceremony like no other.
Well, for more analysis, we can speak now to Mathieu Radzhojski, who is a researcher at the University of Versailles and an expert on security issues. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, it really looks like this opening ceremony is the main cause for concern at this stage from a security point of view. Why is that, do you think?
Good evening. Well, obviously it's an unprecedented event and the size of it is unprecedented, and also the amount of people expected along the river is unprecedented. Well, first it was announced that there would be 500,000 people along the river, along that 6-kilometer strip for the ceremony. Now it's been reduced to a little over 300,000, but that's a massive amount of people. And the complicated issue with this is that Paris is a very dense city. Traffic is difficult there. So whenever if you need to bring a security squad or a rescue squad along the river, it's very hard to do it through the roads. So you'll have to use the river in case anything happens. And basically on that day there will be 45,000 police officers mobilized for the event, which is probably the largest concentration of law enforcement agents in one spot in the history of France.
I mean, we've had some officials sort of floating this idea of a plan B for the opening ceremony, something perhaps a little bit more contained, a little bit less ambitious. I mean, do you think there is a real danger that opening ceremony could be cancelled?
Yes, actually, President Macron mentioned a plan B and even a plan C in an interview a few days ago. And of course, if the security risk is high, if there's information intelligence basically indicating that there's an imminent threat, there is a risk that they move the ceremony to a safer location and to a location that is easier to control. Well, right now it's impossible to say how high is that risk? What is the possibility of this happening? But nevertheless, the French authorities have definitely that in mind.
I mean, they can't anticipate every single risk there is, but how well prepared would you say the French police and the other security services are in this country for the Olympics?
Well, there's a lot to say about that. Well, first of all, France is used to organizing big events. There was the Rugby World Cup last year. There was the Euro in football in 2016, and I could list many other events. So it's nothing new here. Nevertheless, risks are high. The event is unprecedented. There might be shortages of private security because it's important to mention that approximately 17,000 private security agents will be mobilized for the event, and there are apparently recruitment problems. So it's very hard to answer 3 months ahead. Authorities are reassuring people, saying everything will be ready, but there are slight alarms here and there about that event.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of additional measures, I mean, some countries, notably Greece, today offered some assistance with policing the event. Do you think that's the sort of thing we might see more of for kind of global events happening in Europe, a kind of pooling of resources, a pooling of police services? Because I can imagine that being very helpful on the one hand, but on the other hand, I can also imagine it causing a lot of confusion, language barriers, and therefore creating perhaps more work than if they hadn't come in the first place.
Yes, absolutely. That's a good question. Greece announced that. Poland announced a few weeks ago that it would provide, military forces, military agents for the event. So, yes, helping each other seems to be a rational answer and a rational solution. We're not talking about dozens of thousands of people. Obviously, that's a few hundred here and there. And like you said, there's the language barrier. Basically, from what we know, those additional foreign officers will be used for other activities that don't involve being in contact with the public, like, for instance, sniffing dogs for prevention of explosives, things like that. So that's probably something useful. And once again, let's not forget that this is happening during the summer. There will be 45,000 police officers mobilized for the ceremony, 30,000 for the other days, while other things will be going on, especially people going on vacation across the country, being on the roads, and burglary still happening and drug trafficking still happening. So it's not like everything will be on pause security-wise for those 2 weeks of Olympics. So I think any extra hand is needed now by the French government.
Just lastly, for someone who's watching, who's thinking, shall I stick around in Paris for these games or shall I get out of town and go on a holiday? How disruptive are we talking here for these games to the daily lives of people who live here in Paris?
Well, it kind of depends on the neighborhood where you live. Many Parisians are saying, I'm going away, because what people who are listening to us abroad need to realize is that the security perimeter is along the Seine River throughout the Olympics, not only for the ceremony, and really the river cuts the city in two. So we'll be having this sort of barrier in the middle of the city, separating the left and the right side of the river. So that's very disruptive. A lot of security measures. Also, a lot of people coming from abroad. So transportation will be back. We're actually having announcements or demands by the local authorities to not use public transportation but walk during the Olympics, to not overload the transportation system. So yeah, it's sort of a nightmare that is coming for the local population.
Okay, there you have it. Some of the security measures in place for the successful and safe 2024 Paris Olympics. And remember, Nationwide 90 FM is the only place to get everything Olympics from July 26 to August 11. Stay with us. We'll take a break and come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Taste it, eat it, drink it, applaud it. The 25th staging of the Jamaica Observer Table Talk Food Awards, the Caribbean's premier culinary event, powered by MasterCard, takes place Thursday, June 27th, Devon House. The one-night-only evening of excellence in food creation, service and event decor is sponsored by Tasty, Tourism Enhancement Fund, Red Stripe, Johnny Walker, Sagicor, The Best Dressed Chicken, Appleton Estate, Pepsi, Suppligem, Eve, Gold Silver Cinco, Rainforest, Main Event, Island Car Rentals, King Alarm, Megamart and Derriman Trading. Adults 18 years and over. Drink responsibly.
Calling all fishermen in Jamaica. We are in the hurricane season. Weather changes are more frequent and you need your daily marine weather forecast to keep you informed of these changes. Hurry and register now with the Jamaica Fishermen Cooperative Union Limited. They will see that you get your daily marine report on time. Visit them at 44 Beechwood Avenue or call 876-968-0411. Don't delay.
Good afternoon, welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I am Alric Swaby, working out with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. Now we'll be talking some cricket now as a sensational half-century from Shafeen Rutherford set up a third win on the trot for West Indies in the ICC T20 World Cup, while putting New Zealand on the verge of elimination at the Brian Lara Stadium in Trinidad and Tobago. With the win, the co-hosts have also secured a spot in the Super 8. Batting first, the Windies were struggling against New Zealand fast bowlers during the power play. The Caribbean side were struggling at 5 for 30 when Rutherford and Brendan King brought some stability to the innings with 28 runs before King went for 9. Rutherford found little support as West Indies slid to 112 for 9 after 18 overs, but he plundered 37 runs off the last 2 overs to take the regional team to 149. He described the unbeaten 68 from 39 balls as his best knock.
You know, it's a World Cup. You know, this is my dream. I always wanted to play World Cup. I always want to perform in World Cup, and I think, you know, this one gonna stay close to my heart, and, you know, hopefully I can continue to, you know, take out good innings like this for my team and for myself. We have our meetings about, you know, rotating strike. It's a bit difficult in this tournament, I would say, so far because of the tough wickets, but, you know, as a team, our goal is to lessen that balls, and I think, you know, good intent is one thing that we spoke a lot about, and, you know, you're going to see a lot of rotation from us. We're going to try our best, even though it's a tough surface, but we're going to keep trying and trying because, you know, we can only try our best, and that's, you know, our best may be enough.
Alzari Joseph, Gudakesh Moti, and Akil Hussain then stepped up with the ball as New Zealand slumped to their second defeat in as many games. Rutherford says any player can put in a heroic performance for the Windies.
Every game is important. We will always want to win every game. If we can win every game, we're going to take it. But, you know, it's good to get the Q in front of our name. It's just a part of the job. You know, our aim is to play the last game of the tournament. So, you know, we're going to look to keep improving and keep getting better. You know, we have been playing good cricket. There are good days and bad days. And, you know, one thing I learned that, you know, a team that's going to win any tournament, going to be different players stepping up on each time. And I think for the past 3 games, it has been 3 different players. So, you know, I'm not concerned because, you know, that's what, you know, champion team do. I was at the IPL and I observed a lot of things, and that was one of the key that, you know, stick with me. And, you know, it's just for us to keep building on our strength and our, you know, keep improving our game, and I think that's going to be the key for us.
Shafeen Rutherford. The West Indies' next match will be against Afghanistan on June 17. Meanwhile, the United States are through to the Super 8 of the ICC T20 World Cup in their first ever appearance after their final group game against Ireland was washed out at Lauderhill in Florida. The no result gave USA 5 points, which was enough for a second-place finish behind India in Group A. The washout eliminated Pakistan, Canada and Ireland from Group A, and all 3 teams are scheduled to play in Florida over the weekend, weather permitting. Canada play India on Saturday, while Ireland take on Pakistan on Sunday. Ireland are the only team in Group A without a win yet, having lost to India and Canada before the abandonment. USA have also confirmed an automatic spot in the 2026 T20 World Cup. This is the earliest the 2009 champions Pakistan have ever been knocked out of the T20 World Cup, having played just 3 games before their fate was sealed. Now joining us to talk about everything T20 World Cup is a veteran cricket commentator, Reg Pereira. Reg, good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Yes, afternoon to you and your technical people, your co-worker, and all the thousands of Jamaicans who listen to your show. Yes, quite a performance by the USA. No one probably gave them a chance of getting into the second round of the tournament. But that opening win against Canada set them up quite nicely, and they've done enough to have gotten into the second round with a pretty good chance of attracting a major crowd when next they play. The game with England today, it had to be won. It was a rained out first session. They only had 10 overs eventually. England got the required total, and the Namibians never really got into the fight. So they are waiting quietly in Antigua to see what will happen Australia-Scotland. And I reckon some of the statements from the Australian camp is saying that, they wouldn't mind England being knocked out at this stage. They don't have to worry about them sort of later on. We'll come back to the Afghan West Indies game a bit later on in the conversation, no doubt.
Right. Like you said, Australia. So the fact that Australia they're relatively through to the Super 8 as well. You think they'll be feeling players that have not featured in the tournament so far for their upcoming game?
Well, they could. I mean, there's always an opportunity. I felt that the West Indies should have used some of the players against the second game they played in Guyana. The second game they should have maybe brought in a Shamar Joseph, tried a McCoy. Because then that you have players who have had cricket under their belt. But just back to your question, Australia might decide to just play a few people who have been not really getting any cricket. You can get a lot of cricket in the nets, but that's not the same of getting cricket in the middle. We just have to wait and see. Scotland will be doing their utmost, and the rivalry at football between Scotland and England has always been very, very sharp, and they will be delighted if they can play a role in knocking England out of the World Cup.
Right. And tell me, how much of an effect you think these abandoned games will have on cricket be catching on in the North American market? Today you also have the Canada-Indian game being abandoned due to rain. North America is not used to that. Most of their sports are played in covered venues, apart from baseball and a few others. But they're not used to games being abandoned because of rain. You think this will have any form of negative effect on the sport catching on in North America, or the fact that USA has advanced to the Super 8s will give it some lifeline?
Well, there's no indoor cricket facility in the USA, although in general, since last year, we have seen a number of new facilities, quite state-of-the-art, very modern grounds. And I think in the new season of the U.S., you'll continue to find that weather could play a factor. Weather could play a factor now that the hurricane season is in the Caribbean. There's been a fair amount of rain in Trinidad and in Guyana. There was a lot of rain in Antigua today. There was none in St. Lucia, I'm happy to say. The sun was out all its glory from the crack of dawn. But in general, the weather patterns in the U.S., I mean, they're affected in Florida and in the Miami area by our hurricane season. But I think that parts of America have also had more rain falling than maybe for the past couple of years. But I'm happy to say that today there was a hot day, and the Australia-Scotland game should be starting on time at 8:30.
Right. And when you look at the teams that have bowed out of the competition at the group stage, Ireland, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, are you surprised, judging from the performance of these teams coming into the World Cup?
Well, I think we are surprised of Pakistan in the main. We expected Sri Lanka to have played better. We expected Sri Lanka to have played better. We expected Ireland to have played better. Look, just a year or so ago, I mean, Ireland beat the West Indies here in our backyard.
Right.
But they are beginning to move on in age. I mean, how long someone like Sterling can go on? He hasn't really produced that kind of hitting innings at the top. They have to start introducing some new young players in the Irish setup. Pakistan, well, I think they're where their worst setting is. In their last game, if they wanted to improve over the USA rate of scoring, they should have gotten those runs in 15 overs. And the commentators were saying clearly that Pakistan need to get the target. It's in 14. They took 17. They just didn't seem to have a game plan. I mean, if you're chasing runs, you'll think that, the captain would definitely open with the wicketkeeper with run. That didn't happen. And maybe all is not all that well within the Pakistan side in the World Cup. And they are, again, as they were in 2007, knocked out of the competition. They were knocked out by Ireland in Jamaica.
Right.
And this time the USA don't have the problems that the Irish have, because the Irish didn't expect to go into the second round of the 2007 World Cup. They had to then quickly call home, ask their places they work to get an extension of 2 weeks,
right?
At least 10 days. Well, I think that is no problem with the U.S. team. Now they're into the second round. Well, what we've been hearing, for example, this afternoon, the Barbados government announced that Kensington will be hosting India and Afghanistan in the next round. I haven't put in all the boxes. I'm told the West Indies are going to play South Africa in Antigua. What are you hearing from your end of the camp?
That's what's coming over as well on this side, but nothing official from CWI or ICC yet. But one other thing I want to ask: Pakistan and Sri Lanka, those are cricket crazy country. The cricket is their national sport. Tell me, with this early exit, are you expecting a massive overhaul of their team?
Pakistan probably will, over the next year, maintain the same side. How long Afridi will go on, because at one time he wanted to limit the amount of cricket he was playing. They have got the young opener from Guyana, the left-hander, and Sri Lanka has also just made some changes. They've got a new captain, so it probably wouldn't be any kind of total change of size. You might have one or two people calling it a day. I would be surprised if Wilkinson probably calls it a day, the New Zealand captain. How long Southee can go on. Bolt has kept his New Zealand interest alive by playing the white ball game, although he is not going to play any tests. So we just have to wait to see what are the announcements after all of this. Russell is not expected to be available to the West Indies, but he might say, fine, we've done well, I like to continue. I think we have to wait, Alric, to say what will be announced after the World Cup is finished. But some people are getting very close to the end of their career.
Right. And since you brought up New Zealand, let's go back to the West Indies-New Zealand match. West Indies were able to pull off the win, but after a major scare. Tell me, looking at the performance of the West Indies with the bat, are you concerned as they continue on in the tournament?
Well, it's not me to be really concerned. I think it's Darren Sammy, and the captain has got to be concerned because it was, clear, bad batting, lack of patience that got us in the hole before Rutherford came in and demonstrated what it is to bat under pressure.
Right.
He didn't try to hit boundaries straight away. He batted fairly orthodox, in manner. And then towards the end, you talked about what he got to take the West Indies to 149. And I think that there need to be a change of attitude from the West Indies players. I mean, King, rash shot. Johnson Charles, no shot at all. Just stand and deliver, no movement of the feet. Kuran, 17 off 12 balls, and then reckless, caught down at a long on. Chase tried to pull a ball that squeezed him up, got big at him, outward early. Captain went very early, and then came Rutherford. If Rutherford had produced that knock, the West Indies would not be, in fact, looking forward to the next run of the World Cup. He was the savior, the hero, and it's really a warning sign to everybody in that batting order. If you want to go any further, you got to put runs on the board, and you got to be disciplined. You got to be patient. You want to score runs in the power play, but you don't want to lose 3 or 4 wickets. It's better you be 50 for 1 than 64 for 3.
Right. But tell me, you must be pleased with the sort of reserve that they show to maintain their composure and fight on and to win that match, especially with the bowlers Alzarri Joseph, Gudakesh Motie, Akeal Hossain.
Well, New Zealand, again, although we figured that they would be in better shape than they were in Guyana, they still look very short of cricket. And Conway was dismissed early from Hussain. And then we had a situation where Motie, his spell broke the back of the New Zealand middle order. And because he did that, he pushed them back. They fell below the required run rate. And Alzarri Joseph and Russell was able to come and maintain the dominance. They had to take chances. Alzarri Joseph picked up wickets, bowled a much better leg. And I think it was a much better bowling performance by the West Indies than a batting performance.
Right. But when New Zealand had West Indies struggling at 30 for 5 and even 112 for 9 after 18 overs, their confidence must have been high. What do you think that last 2 over, that 37-run ball runs from Rutherford in those final 2 overs would have done to the confidence of New Zealand?
Well, I think in New Zealand was their choice of bowlers at the end was wrong. I think they got their combinations wrong, and they allowed some inexperienced bowlers to bowl at the end. I mean, the last over bowled by Mitchell was a nightmare. I mean, they might have decided to try the off spinner again, but I thought that Wilkerson got his bowling combinations wrong in the 19th and 20th over. And I think that should be said by the New Zealand press. He had to hold back both at least for one, you know. He had to hold back Southey at least for one. And I think he would realize that he handled that badly.
Right. The Windies' next match will be against Afghanistan. This is still the group stage. We have already confirmed our place in the Super 8. You think this is a perfect opportunity for them to bring in new faces, new players who have not featured in the tournament so far?
Well, we felt that might have happened in Guyana. Will they change the team now? A lot of people are calling for Charles to be left out and for Hope to come in. It will, according to what you're hearing from talk shows, Hope and King will make maybe a more solid opening pair. When will Azari Joseph be included? This is the fastest pitch in the Caribbean here in St. Lucia. Will they take the opportunity to introduce Azari Joseph? Will they think of McCoy? I spoke to the head of a groundsperson here, Ken Crafton, who of course worked with the West Indies board. He said he didn't relay the entire square. He just took off a half inch of the top, and then with processed earth, work that in to the top. Now there's a belief that whilst a square is being prepared, you should have cricket being played on it as part of the preparation. Right. You should have a couple of overs bowled on it, people batting on it. I don't think that was done. But Ken Crafton is very confident that this pitch will reflect its normal character, where there'll be good carry to the keeper, there'll be bunks for the spinners, and there'll be opportunity for the batsmen to play shots. Not shots that will be recommended as hitting across the line or swiping towards cow corner. People have to bat normally, but it should be a good cricket wicket.
Right. But like I said, we have nothing to lose now. We're in the Super 8. It's not like points or will be carried over from the group stage into the Super 8. So every team in the Super 8 will start at ground zero. So I'm sure we'll be able to see Shamar Joseph like you have been asking for, and others who have not featured just to give them some match practice. I mean, both Afghanistan and Jamaica, not Jamaica, but the West Indies are through to the Super 8s. I think this is a time when we will see some new faces coming into the side to get some match practice. But we are fastly coming to the end of this segment. But let me. I don't know if you had a chance to see what the ladies did over in Sri Lanka. They would have lost by 6 wickets. To tell me if you would have heard or seen anything. Your thoughts.
Well, I was looking at the scorecard. I mean, the captain got a start but didn't go on. Campbell, the vice captain, got a start, didn't go on. Taylor got a start, didn't go on. I was surprised that Nation was played in front of the Guyanese all-rounder Ghaznavi, but Ghaznavi was just returning to the side after being left out. But there are 3 top players, one of them had to go on to get the West Indies up to a sizable score. And the bowling just didn't seem to make the impact. At no time the Pakistanis were under any real pressure. If you make a fairly average score, you really need to take wickets very, very quickly as soon as you're into the power play, and that did happen. I expect a few changes, but they are very slow to make changes. They're very slow to make changes. And I think it's time for us to start introducing some younger fast bowlers. We just have to wait and see how they will perform in the next game, but it wasn't a good performance. So, I mean, the captain, for example, didn't produce her usual, near 100 performance. And one, she doesn't bat deep. The West Indies will be in trouble.
Right. Okay, finally, let's go back to the T20 World Cup. Just give me your rating of the tournament so far.
Well, if you're asking me who will end up...
no, just asking you how you rate the overall tournament so far.
Well, I think the pitches have left much to be desired. The New York pitch, I think was described as dangerous at one time. I think the pitches in Guyana and in Trinidad were in fact slow. There was in different levels of bounce in Kensington. Kensington was not really a true pitch. I can't comment on Antigua. I cannot comment on St. Vincent. But overall, I think we have had a below par scoring. We didn't expect maybe the kind of scoring in the IPL, simply because the pitches there are so much in favor of the batsmen. We expected that the batsmen, or the batters, as now people say, would have had to work a little harder. But the pitches didn't help the batting. The pitches were bowler-friendly in the main.
Right. Okay, then, Reg, again, thanks much for stopping by and sharing your thoughts with us. We wish you all the best.
Okay, good night to all in Jamaica and beyond.
Good night. And I must say Happy Father's Day to you when it comes. Okay, that was veteran cricket commentator Joseph Reds Pereira. We'll take a break and we'll come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Need to make a change to your title or need a title? GeoLand Title Limited. They do lost title application, add and remove names from titles, wills, estates. First-time registration land surveys also included. Affordable rates and flexible payment options. NLA adjudication and land titling waivers also available. They have 8 locations island-wide. Call 876-754-6436 or visit their website at geolandonline.com. GeoLand Title Limited. Secure your land, secure your title.
This outstanding 6'4" athlete credits Jamaica with her first Olympic victory ever.
Jamaica is filled with Olympians.
World record holder McKinley dashes into the lead.
We must never forget the forerunners of Jamaican Olympic greatness.
Coming into the home stretch, it's Wint who challenges the leader.
Win or lose, athletes never forget their Olympic experience.
Fairly knotty and devastated. Another world-class feat. And Hemmings is going to do it. Hemmings wins it. She's the champion.
Win or lose, Jamaicans will cheer the loudest at the Olympics so that the world will never forget who we are.
And Usain Bolt is moving away, and Jamaica retain
From July 26 to August 11, tune in only to Nationwide 90 FM for the coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, because we're here to ensure that you never forget. Nationwide's coverage is powered by our bronze sponsors: National Road Operating and Construction Company Limited, Digicel, Grace Foods, Spirits of Jamaica, Imperial Optical Jamaica, and Rainforest Caribbean.
Good evening and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex Raby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. My technical operator will be talking some netball now, as defending champions Manchester Spurs and the St. James Sharks will lock horns in Game 10 of the Red Stripe Flavors Netball Jamaica Elite League at the Stadium Courts tomorrow at 4 p.m. The Spurs will be seeking their 5th straight win in as many starts, while the Sharks will be hoping for their 2nd win of the season. The last time both teams met, Spurs came away 49-42 winners. Now we're joined by two of the players, Abigail Linton from the Sharps and Shanika Johnson from the Spurs. Ladies, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening.
Okay, before you go, Abigail, tell me what position you play for the Sharps? Abigail? Okay, we seem to be having some technical challenges with Abigail. Let me go to Shanika. Shanika, what position you play for the Spurs?
I play goalkeeper and goal defense.
Okay, good. But tell me, defending champions, four games you have won so far this season. What's making the Spurs so dominant?
Okay. All right. So there are a few things that we have been doing that has been working for us. I mean, our team has depth. We have a rounded team. We have, I won't say we have the best defense, but I can humbly say we have a strong defense lineup at the back. You know, I have experience, and with that, I have been guiding the young ones who have been humble enough to take the guidance, follow the instructions, and we have been doing well so far to support each other.
Right.
We also have good attack, former national players with experience, and we also have good mid-court. So we have depth in our team, and that has been helping us so far. We also have I must tell you, the camaraderie among the ladies are awesome. It's just amazing how we have been building a bond, and because of that, we have been supporting each other on the court, you know, and that has been working for us.
Right, and we're joined by Abigail. Abigail, good evening and welcome.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Abigail, tell me what position you play for the Sharps?
I play goalkeeper.
Okay, you're also on the defensive side. But Abigail, tell me, what's your thoughts on the overall makeup of your team? What are some of the strengths and weaknesses? I know you don't want to tell Shanika everything, but how would you describe your team?
I believe my team is made up of mostly young players. They're talented. Most of them coming into the elite for the first time. Have a lot to learn, but I think each game we're building more and more as the league progresses. Right.
And I was at the games last evening where you all drew 46-46. It was a ding-dong battle. Tell me your thoughts on that game. What do you think your team could have done better to come away with the win?
I think we just need to realize when we have control of the game and not lose control of that. Because going into the third quarter, I think we're probably up by 3.
Right.
And then I'm not sure if we got comfortable, but we started to make some unforced errors, and that resulted in the other team getting some points on us. So just need to
keep control when we're in control.
Right. Let me go back to Shanika. Shanika, one of the defender on the Spurs. Last night I was watching your game as well. Excuse me. However, I believe that the team you came out you sort of slow in the first quarter. You had a few turnovers. The shooters missed a couple of easy shots. I would say I'm not a big expert on netball, but judging from my limited experience, what contributed to that slow start from the Spurs last evening?
Okay, you're correct. It has been happening for not only that match. We tend to be starting slowly. We have, I think, because I think we have been doing everything that we need to do. I don't know what is happening when we go on court. There's a little bit of indiscipline in terms of sticking to the game plan at the beginning to be able to eliminate those errors. But we have identified this and we're trying our best to work on it so that it doesn't continue.
Right. And you mentioned that you have a quality defense, and I was watching last night and I was impressed with Zada Green. I think that's her name. Zadie Green. She was a very popular player on the court, but the fans were cheering for her. She became my second favorite player in the league after Giselle. but tell me, that player, how would you describe her talent? Because later I spoke with the coach and he said that she wasn't a defender. She wasn't playing her right position. She is a mid-court player, but originally a mid-court player. What you think inspired her to take on that role and played it so well? She had several turnovers. She caused several turnovers for your opponents last night. How would you describe her talent?
Okay, so she is a goal attack. She's a shooter. That's the position that she's training for now in the national program. Zadie is a very talented player. She has good work ethic. She trains hard. She's also a good listener. She listens and she follows instruction, and she never gives up. That's the kind of athlete that she has to play, and that's the reason why it has contributed to her doing so well.
Right. Let me bring back Abigail. Abigail, come tomorrow. You'll be the Sharps will be going for their second win of the season. This is your second time you're playing the Spurs. The last time the Spurs came away with the win. Tell me what would you have learned from that game and over the course of the season so far that you think you'll come out and do better this time around?
I think Spurs is one of the tougher teams to play. You have to do credit where credit is due. But just like every other game, we have to capitalize on our wins. When we gain possession of the ball, we have to ensure that it's converted into a shot. We have to be consistent with our defense from the right through the court and just capitalize on the errors that the Spurs will make.
Right.
Emphasis on the will.
I don't want to give away too much secret, but from my on my side. But I'm going to give you something I noticed last evening. The goal shooter, I don't. Her name slips me now. Right. She's not very agile, and but what she lacks in agility, she makes up in experience. And watching her, she used a lot of experience to get the better of younger, more agile, youthful players. So I think that's one area you could capitalize on. You need to tell your players, look out for that.
Well, to be honest, I will have the task of going up against Chantal because I play the goalkeeper and she's the goal shooter. But she he's a very experienced player. He's very accurate with our shots, but it's just for me to really find a way to get the edge above her so I can probably throw off her game, get her to miss a couple shots so I can get some interceptions and cause some turnovers.
Yeah, you need to box her out and keep her outside. If that's a terminology in netball. but so you can't say I didn't do something for you and the Sharps. So I gave you one of my team's secret. But Shanika, you are the defending champions. You will be seeking 5 straight wins when you go up against the Sharps come tomorrow. So you know you'll have a target on your back. The Sharps, they won't be coming easy. Tell me, are your team, I know you're physically prepared for it, are your team mentally ready for what the Sharps will bring come Sunday afternoon?
Okay, yes. Might I add before I answer that question that I would consider Zardi a utility player, meaning that she can play wherever you put her to play.
Right.
That's a plus. So we have 4 wins under our belt. I mean, we are grateful, but we are not getting ahead of ourselves. I mean, we are taking it one match at a time, and that is the mindset that we have, and that is what I've been constantly reminding the ladies that, yes, we have won the matches so far, but we cannot become complacent. We cannot relax or get too overly confident. We have to remain focused and know that everyone is coming at us to beat us. So with that, with me telling them that, and I know our coach is also telling them that, I know that, we mentally, we are going out there, we're not the underdogs, but we have that kind of mentality. And I think that is what we have been doing when we approach each match, and it has been helping us so far. We go hard in every match.
So what you're saying, you're using reverse psychology on your players to keep them hungry?
Yes.
but going back to last night's game, for the first 2 quarters, the game was really close.
Yeah.
But after that, the halftime break, and your team went over to the other side of the court, I don't know what Coach Dalton Hines would have said to the team, or the team would have looked in themselves and decided. But you came out with a different purpose in that game. Is it that you were playing possum and you allowed your opponents to tire themselves and then come out strong in the third quarter? What was that?
Yeah, we normally we go back to the drawing board. We identify the things that we are doing wrong, and we try to correct them quick, going back on the court. So when we go over to the next side, we try to, block out everyone and start to concentrate on what we need to do right. We remind ourselves that we have a goal, and we have to stick to that, stick to the task, and, we all share the same vision. And I know with that, it just takes us into a different gear. And it has been, I don't know if you have been watching, but it has been working, or this is a pattern for all our matches. We tend to, after halftime, move away and do very, very well.
Okay, Abigail, you hear that? You hear the game plan, right?
Yeah. Let's see how tomorrow plays out.
Right. Well, as you prepare for game 2, let me hear your prediction. How you think the game will end? I mean, you're going in to win, so you are predicting that you will win. But what's the margin of victory you think you can win by?
Well, I can't really predict, but I can just know that my team is coming strong. We want this win. We want to position ourselves so that we can get a place in the semifinals or finals. For the semifinals and then to the finals. So we're just going out there to play ball game.
Oh, okay. And Shadika, with players like Giselle and Zadi and your team, what's your prediction for tomorrow?
Okay, so we have been observing Sharps, and we realize that they have been building momentum, and they They are like they tend to sneak up. They win in the last minute, the couple of minutes of the game. So we know that they're coming out hard, and we are ready for it. And if we stick to the task, we will come out victorious.
Okay, ladies. Again, I wish you both all the best, you and your teams, and I hope to see some exciting action come tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
I hope you get a chance to make it.
I hope so too. Okay, so that was Abigail Linton, defender for the Sharps, Manchester Sharps, and not Manchester Sharps, St. James Sharps, and Shanika Johnson, a defender for the Manchester Spurs. With that, we take a break and we'll come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Stop buying expensive toner cartridges. Global Ink is now selling new factory direct generic toners. Remove factory seals, install and print. Engineered to work first time, every time. Certified for use in HP and Brother printers. Worry-free, affordable printing for your peace of mind. Money saved is money earned. We deliver island-wide. 754-7444 or 1-888-NEED-INK. Never run out of toner again. Global Ink.
Get ready for a show like no other. That's right. Every Sunday from 8:15 p.m. to 9:15 p.m., we're bringing you the Harvest Hour, only on Nationwide 90 FM. Join us as we dive into a soothing religious program created for your mind, body, and soul. The World Harvest Mission Church, creators of the Harvest Hour, is dedicated to making your Sundays God-fearing and saintly. Get a front row seat to moving sermons and affectionate worshiping. That's the Harvest Hour, every Sunday from 8:15 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come with me. Let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alric Strebe, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass, and we will continue with netball. The Red Stripe Flavors Jamaica Elite Netball League, that is. Now, in tomorrow's other game, Kingston Hummingbirds will take on St. Catherine Racers, and we have two of their players online. Of the Racers, we have Shanika Jones, and of the Hummingbirds, we have Teresa Beckford. Ladies, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure having you both. Let me start with you, Shanika. Just share with us the position you play for the Racers.
I play goal defense.
You're a goal defense. You're one of the defenders. Okay, and Teresa, what position you play?
I don't have a steady position at the moment. It's just where the coaches put me and I have to, deliver. So mostly I play goal defense for the Hummingbirds.
Right, so you're what they would call a utility player as well?
Agile player, that's it.
Repeat that?
That's an agile player.
A dry player.
Agile.
Oh, agile. Okay, agile player. Okay, I get you. Okay, so Chanika, you hear that? So you'll have a lot of challenge, you and your players, defending Teresa come tomorrow. But tell me, Chanika, what can we expect from the racers after last night's game? It was a ding-dong battle between yourself and your opponents at the National Stadium courts last night. What can we expect from the racers, especially after that tough game last night?
Basically, you can expect we're coming in harder than last night. We're planning on doing exactly as our coach told us to. Go out, play hard for the 60 minutes of the game, and just enjoy, have fun.
Right. And the racers would have experienced every result in the competition so far. You have experienced defeat, victory, and last night a draw. Tell me,
No, we haven't won any game as a 2 draw and 1.
Two draws and a defeat. Okay. Right, I'm probably mixing up with the Sharps. But tell me, racers, one of the favorite teams over the years. When you look back, what's the fan, what's the support like? I mean, the teams change each year, but do the racers carry their support year in, year out?
Yes, we do actually. We do have a great fan base. Just the same.
Right. And the Hummingbirds, Teresa, you would have started out strong winning your first game, but you would have run into a bit of bump, especially against the Spurs during the course of this season. Have you looked at the performance of the team over the course of the season and see where you need to correct and would have improved on that?
Yes, we have, but basically in the game of netball, it's just who show up on the day shooting, because shooting is what win the games. So I think it's just our shooters just to turn up at 100% accuracy in that game whenever we're playing and stuff like that for us to win. So it's basically it's the shooting and win games.
Right. But you say the shooting and win games, but last night games, I would say that the defense is what kept those two teams, the winning team, the Spurs last night, as well as the Racers and their opponent last night that ended in a draw. The defenders were exceptionally well. So tell me what role defenders play in a netball match. Teresa?
Defenders play a vital role where they try to intercept balls or stop the shooters from shooting, like the opposing team shooting. So basically, normally say yes, defenders win game, but it's about converting at the shooting end for that team to win.
Right. And Shanika, like I said last night, there was a lot of defensive action from both teams. You would have intercepted some of your opponents' balls. They would have intercepted some of yours, which resulted in that drawn game. Tell me, when you, as most netballers says, defending your center pass is the prime thing to do in netball. So when you would have intercepted your opponent's center pass or any ball of your opponent, do you say to your teammates, settle down, be focused, and let us keep this?
Yes, during the game we're going to do that. We're going to do that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Balls are going to go out. You're going to lose some balls. And we have to just convert what we get, and what we don't, we just try and work back for it.
Right. Shanika, netball is a fast-paced game which doesn't allow a lot of contact, so which is why there are so much whistle in the game. But this fast pace, it must take a lot of toll on the players. How do you pace yourself? Is it that you use a lot of substitution, or you play the first two quarters slow and then pick it up in the third and fourth quarter? How do players and teams pace themselves so that they are not burned out by the fourth quarter?
All right, I can talk for myself because I do play all four quarters in the game. So what I do is I try to pace myself. As a goal defender, you have to pace yourself. You're going to defend, you're going to go out hard, but at some point in the 50 minutes in each quarter, you're going to stay back at the goal third and don't go down too deep, so you can have energy for when the ball is coming down if our team don't convert on those shots.
Right. I don't want you all to give away too much of a secret, but I'm going to ask both of you this question. And let me start with you, Teresa.
Okay.
Going into tomorrow's game, what do you think will be key for your team to come out on top?
As I said before, it's about shooting. So basically, we're just going to go out there and play some netball. And, just have fun and play some good netball. That's all. You'll have to turn up tomorrow to see what will happen.
Right. And Tanika, what will be key for racers to come out on top?
I think discipline and patience.
Right.
Once we keep discipline and have patience with each other, then I think we'll be victorious tomorrow.
Right. And Teresa, you have a winning coach, a back-to-back. Your coach is the back-to-back winner of the Supreme Ventures Major League competition. Tell me, how important a role? Well, she's the coach; she must play an important role. But tell me, how much has the fact that she is a winning coach, played out in her coaching the Hummingbirds?
So Nadia and Kerry, they're two good coaches. They normally they just taught us through how to play a good netball. In attack, you have to play in your respective areas. So that's what I think has given us the privilege to be winning. So it's about listening to them to be disciplined and just to play what they want us to play, because they're on the bench, they're seeing what is it that we're supposed to do or what is it that we're not doing and what we can implement in doing better in order to win. So they're two good coaches, and we have to just listen to what they are seeing, because they're even experienced players because they played before. They are playing, yes. So we have to just listen to them because they're the one that's seen it and they are the one that have experienced it. So yeah.
Right. And Tanika, tell me your thoughts on the crowd support for the games each evening, Friday and Sunday evenings.
Okay.
How impressed are you with patrons coming out to support the players during this Red Stripe Flavors Jamaica Netball League? What's the support been like for the league so far?
It has been good. Over the years, like, Jamaican people love netball. They're going to come out, they're going to show, they're going to support. So it is nothing new, because they're always there. Club league, business house, and no pro league. They're always in numbers supporting.
Right. So I guess that's why it was easy, or Red Stripe and Powerade found it necessary to come on board and partner with Netball Jamaica and sponsor this league. What would you love to say to Red Stripe and Powerade and the other sponsors who would have partnered with Netball Jamaica to ensure that this league is a success?
I want to say thanks. A big thank you to Red Stripe Powerade and the other sponsors. And I'm sure all netballers, pro league players appreciate them coming on board.
All right, and Teresa, let me give you the final word. Just to encourage Jamaica to come out and watch some good netball tomorrow at the National Stadium Court.
Repeat?
I'm giving you the final word, just to encourage Jamaica to come out and watch some good netball at the stadium courts.
Oh yes, yes, we really appreciate it if Jamaican persons here will come out to watch some good netball. We really need the support, not even in this what should I say? In this level, even in the national level also, because sometimes we have national test series out here, and we really appreciate if Jamaican persons will come and watch us, support us, and just do the necessary means, because netball is a good game and we just don't have a good fan base out here like that. But we do appreciate all the persons that come out and, you know, support us. So I'm just saying this to say that more persons can just come out and just support us and have a good time, go drink their soup and eat hot dog and just enjoy a good netball game. So, yeah.
Okay, Jamaica, you heard that from Teresa Beckford, the utility player or the agile player for the Kingston Hummingbirds. Encouraging you to come out after you would have cooked your Sunday dinner. You can even carry it to the stadium courts and have it with you there. But I'm telling you, I'm encouraging you also to come out, and you will see some good netball, some competitive netball, and some exciting netball. You won't regret leaving home or skipping any other function to watch the Red Stripe flavored Jamaica Netball League at the stadium courts tomorrow. It starts at 4 p.m. Come out and enjoy. Okay, ladies, it's been a pleasure talking with you, and we wish both of you all the best.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Okay, so that was Shanika Jones of the Racers netball team and the Hummingbirds utility player or agile player, Teresa Beckford. With that, we take a quick break and we'll come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Taste it, eat it, drink it, applaud it. The 25th staging of the Jamaica Observer Table Talk Food Awards, the Caribbean's premier culinary event, powered by MasterCard, takes place Thursday, June 27th, Devon House. The one-night-only evening of excellence in food creation, service and event decor is sponsored by Tasty, Tourism Enhancement Fund, Red Stripe, Johnny Walker, Sagicor, The Best Dressed Chicken, Appleton Estate, Pepsi, Suppligen, Eve, Gold Silver Cinco, Rainforest, Main Event, Island Car Rentals, King Alarm, Megamart and Derriman Trading. Adults 18 years and over. Drink responsibly.
After months of preparation, Jamaica's top athletes clash at the J3A Puma National Senior and Junior Championships. June 27 to 30. 4 days of intense action will determine who's ready for the Summer Olympics in Paris. Tickets are available at Jamaica Pegasus, National Stadium Ticket Office, and MysticOnlineTix.com. Season ticket finish line, 8,000. Season tickets regular grandstand, 6,500. Daily tickets range from 1,000 to 3,500. Tickets go on sale at the Pegasus and the Stadium Ticket Office. Monday, June 24, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. The J3A Puma National Senior and Junior Championships, June 27 to 30 at the National Stadium. It will be sensational.
Okay, good evening and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex Raby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. We'll be talking some basketball now, the NBA, as the Dallas Mavericks kept their NBA Finals hopes alive with a 122-84 victory to deny the Boston Celtics a clean sweep in the best-of-7 championship series. Luka Doncic top scored with 29 points, while Kyrie Irving added 21 as the Mavericks ended their opponent's 10-game playoff winning streak and claimed the third largest win in finals history. But they still have a mountain to climb as they try to become the first team to come from 3-0 down and win an NBA playoff series with a Game 5 to come in Boston on Tuesday. Luka Doncic reacts to his recent criticism and Game 4 blowout win versus Celtics.
Luka, it was total domination tonight from the opening tip. Just how did you guys make it look so easy?
Yeah, we know we had to get. We can't lose no more. Like as we always say, we're going to believe till the end.
What was different tonight about the defense and the mindset?
I think our energy was way higher. Everybody was locked in on the defensive end, and then we played with higher pace.
Luka, you heard a lot of criticism, fair or unfair, after Game 3. Just what was it like hearing all of that?
I'm good. I don't pay much attention. There's always going to be criticism, no matter what. I just stay focused and help my team win.
Now, it's just one win, but it feels like it could have been a statement win. How do you take this game and the momentum that you got here tonight? How do you take that to Boston for Game 5?
We got to play the same way. We know how tough it is to play there. I know their fans, they're going to be loud, so we got to stay focused. We got to do the same things we did today.
Okay, so that was Luka Doncic responding to his Game 4 blowout win over the Boston Celtics. Now joining us to dissect the game is broadcast assistant for the Toronto Raptors, Mike Roach. Mike, good evening and welcome.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. Mike, 122-84. Would you say the Mavericks have been woken or the Boston Celtics fell asleep?
You know what? Maybe a little bit of both. I do think the Boston Celtics fell asleep just a little bit, but at the same time, the way Dallas played was just out of sheer desperation at this point. They know if they don't win, they're going home, so they gave it everything. I think the energy was just a little bit higher. The defense was better. Luka Doncic gave a much better defensive effort along with the rest of the team. But I think that it does have to do with a desperation factor at this point. I mean, it's really tough to go to the NBA Finals and then end up getting swept. So I think they saw that right in front of them, and they just did whatever they can do. They were swinging haymakers and just trying to make sure that they did not get swept in this finals.
Right. And the fans, they were behind the team, even though they were down 3-0. Were you expecting the fans to be behind the Mavericks when they're trailing 3-0 in the series?
Yeah, I do. Dallas has a really nice fan base. They have rabid fans over there. And, I think as delusional as we may be as fans, especially when you're down 3-0, at some point in time in history, there will be a team that comes back from 3-0. We don't know when it's going to be, but it will happen. It's happened in other sports. It's happened in hockey. It's happened in baseball. Basketball is a different ballgame, but at some point it's going to happen. And I think when you're that city that's down 0-3, you may look at it from a fan perspective and say, maybe it can be us.
Speaking of maybe it can be us, judging from how the team played last night, Doncic, Irving, and the others, do you see them winning in Boston come Game 5?
I don't know. I think that's a tough ask. I really do. Didn't see Porzingis last night, and I think he might play in the next game, even if it's not for a large period of time. I do think we might see Porzingis at some point. But, I mean, I'm not sure this is going to be going past 5 games. You're mad. You're upset right now. You got blown out by 40 when you're the Boston Celtics. Now you're going back home to win it in front of your fans. I don't think you want a chance going back to Dallas 3-2. Because going back to Dallas, they have the momentum if it's 3-2. And if they can force a Game 7, anything can happen. So I don't see this going back Game 6 to Dallas. I think Boston will end this thing in 5 games in Boston.
If you were in the Boston Celtics dressing room and you're talking to your players, how would you analyze last night games? What were some of the areas that they fell down on that you'll be telling them they'll have to address come Game 5?
Well, Boston, they shot the ball terribly, just terribly. I mean, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, it was just a horrible game from before even halftime in this game. It was a blowout. And I thought maybe they would be able to punch back, but just absolutely nothing. If I'm Coach Mazzulla, I talk to them about making sure that they're communicating defensively. That's going to be the big thing for them. Make sure you communicate defensively. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving are always going to be a problem. I would gamble with the rest of the guys that they have on that team, whether it be Lively, you got to cut him off somewhere at the basket. You got to cut him off. When he's around the basket and he gets the ball, if he's next to the rim, that's a dunk. It's automatic. Gafford is almost the same thing. But if you're Boston and I'm Mazzulla, I got to tell my team to bank on the other guys beating them. You got to send that double team to Luka Doncic especially and Kyrie Irving. They're doing a really good job the way they're defending Kyrie Irving. They're making it really tough for him to get baskets. But Luka Doncic, I would not hesitate to throw a double team at Luka Doncic and let the other guys make shots. That's what I would do. But I don't want Luka Doncic killing me, because on any given night, he is such a spectacular player that you never know what he's going to be able to do. He can go for 29 one night, 35 one night, 45, maybe 50 if you're not really on your P's and Q's when guarding Luka Doncic. So if I'm Mazzulla, I make sure defensively that we're communicating, know where everything is going on at all time. I would have different defensive sets. I would set traps on some of these guys as soon as they pass over that half-court line, and just make sure that you're really focused in on those two guys. They can beat you on any given night, so they need to focus on getting the ball out of their hands and trying to make one of the other guys beat you.
Right. Early, you said that the Boston Celtics, they shot poorly, but what was it, the Celtics being off, or the Mavericks' defense was so strong?
I think the Mavericks had a nice, strong defensive game. They played more guys than they typically do. Like Dante Exum doesn't usually play. He got in the game. Tim Hardaway Jr. is another guy who typically doesn't play. He was in the game. Max Kleber was in the game. He played 23 minutes as well. So Jason Kidd, typically from what we've seen in the playoffs thus far up until this point, had a very short leash with that bench, right? Now, you're used to seeing Washington, Derek Jones, Gafford, Doncic, Irving. But aside from that, Kleber was out for a long time, so we didn't see him. We saw Lively, as I mentioned before. But at the same time, Josh Green, we saw him a little bit. He's in the lineup. Exum. They're getting other guys run now, whereas before you're driving guys into the ground because you're not going into your bench. You have guys that are capable, but they haven't played in so long. A lot of these guys probably don't have any confidence. Dante Exum, as I mentioned, was a guy who a lot of people know. He was a high draft pick coming into the league when he was drafted, went back to Europe, came back, and now he's in an NBA Finals where he didn't play much. So it's going to be tough for him to kind of have a rhythm, right? But he ended up playing well. So I would say it was a good defensive effort from Dallas. And you have fresher legs on some of these other Boston Celtics players because Jason Kidd has now gone deeper into his bench.
Right, and coming from 3-0 down, they have a mountain to climb if they are to win this NBA series. But now that the Mavericks has come to the party, you think they have the arsenal to do it?
To win this series?
To win the whole series, right.
No, I don't think so. I think Boston just has too many pieces. Jason Tatum, Brown, Horford, Drew Holiday, Derek White, Pritchard. I mean, Porzingis, as I mentioned, I think he's going to get some run too. I just think they have too many players on Boston that are good on both ends of the floor, on offense and defense. Like offensively, when you look at guys like Derek White, Drew Holiday, Tatum, Brown, like all of these guys can shoot. They can put the ball on the floor. They can pass. They can defend. They can do it all. They're all horses. I just think they have too many weapons, too many pieces that are versatile, have length, have strength, and just have the right basketball IQ for Dallas to be able to win 4 games in a row. I just don't think they can do it.
When you look at the quality of the technical staff, the coaching staff on both teams, in terms of ability, skills, knowledge, which are the bench, the coaching staff are you leaning on as the stronger?
I think Boston. I think Boston as well, just because it's not their first time here. They've seen this before. They have a strong coaching staff. One of their coaches is already Sam Cassell, who is a great player in his own right. You have another one of their strong assistants who's going to be the next head coach for the Charlotte Hornets. So Boston and Missoula, what he's accomplished as a very young coach in this league is nothing to sneeze at, I'll tell you that much. And, you know, he's a hard-nosed coach. It looks like he has the respect of his players. But overall, I think the experience is there just a little bit more in regards to the adversity that they've been through these last 3 seasons, to get to a finals, lose, then to come back, lose in a conference finals, now to be back in that finals. They're a battle-tested team, and I believe that the coaching staff for Boston knows exactly what they have to do to win.
And that you just described, it won't play on their mind. Well, let me ask you this: how you think they will react to that? The fact that they have been to the party at least 3 times before and not go all the way. Will it have a negative or positive effect, especially now that Mavericks has come to the party, have come alive?
You know, I think it's going to be a positive effect. It's a good question because it can go either way. It can. I do see what you're saying with the question and how it could possibly affect them negatively, but the Boston Celtics, I think, it'll help them in a positive way because they don't want to feel what they felt the last 2 seasons again, and to be up 3-0 and lose would be absolutely devastating, and it would be the first time in history that's ever happened in the NBA. I don't see that happening. They're going to be confident. They're going to have poise. They won't panic because they've seen this before, and I believe ultimately they will do what it takes to win. I think it'll be a positive effect for them because they know that feeling, and they don't want to feel that again.
Right. Tell me, what sort of atmosphere are you expecting in the Boston arena come Tuesday? Wanting to win it at home, wanting to shut down the momentum of Mavericks. What sort of atmosphere are you expecting from the fans at the Boston Celtics arena come Tuesday?
The fans, I'm telling you right now, the building that you're going to see, these are going to be some of the craziest fans that you have seen this season. To be at home, to win an NBA championship in Boston, especially when you're going up against a rival and a hated rival in Kyrie Irving. It is going to be ruckus. It's going to be loud. It's going to be vulgar. It's going to be everything that the Boston Celtics players expected and want it to be. It's going to be rough, very rough, for not only the Dallas players, but the Dallas coaches and the Dallas fans who are going to be in that building for Boston, it is going to be absolutely rocking in that building. I for one, can't wait to see it.
What do you think both teams can do wrong to end up losing this game?
Well, for Dallas, I would say Dallas is going to, one thing I think they can do wrong is not get enough players involved offensively. I think in order for them to win this game, you got to have more than just Kyrie and Luka Doncic. You got to have Lively. You got to have Gafford. You got to have Derek Jones. You got to have somebody off the bench, whether Hardaway, Cleaver. You need everybody to get involved offensively and defensively, but it cannot just be your main 2 or 3 guys. You're going to need everybody by committee to win this thing if you are the Dallas Mavericks. And to me, one of the mistakes that the Boston Celtics can make is not getting off to a good start from the beginning. You got to get off to a good start. Try and get some leverage so that even if things kind of taper off, you're still okay and you're not fighting an uphill battle on the way back up. So Boston has to come out strong, punch them in the mouth early, let them know that every time they hit, there's going to be a gut punch coming right back. And that is going to be the key for me if you're the Boston Celtics. Don't fight your way back. Focus. Be locked in defensively from early. Make sure you're not just getting any type of shot up. You need good shots to be going up. You have a lot of guys. Drew Holiday, Tatum, Brown, White, Horford. All of these guys can shoot and get quality shots. So share the ball, but you got to get it started early if you're the Boston Celtics.
Right, and speaking of the Boston Celtics, if they should go ahead and, as expected, win this title, their 18th overall, if my memory serves me correctly, what will it say about the franchise?
You know what? They are beyond elite at this point. They're an amazing franchise. They have great management in regards to putting together basketball rosters. To think about how good the Boston Celtics are at their age. They're still young, but they're veterans at the same time. And to look at the surrounding pieces that they put around guys like Jaylen Brown and Tatum, to bring in a guy like Drew Holiday that they get from the Bucks after he's traded to Portland and then they trade for him. They're going to be a dangerous team for a long time to come, not only in the Eastern Conference, but for the NBA, period. And it just shows you how elite they are with their ability to put teams together, even to get a guy like Porzingis in the offseason, when you really didn't have to do that much, right? You know what I like about teams like the Boston Celtics? You know how you know they're elite? You see them get to the finals, and then you see them get to the conference finals. You look at the roster looks really good, and then they go out there, they get Drew Holiday, which they didn't necessarily have to go out there and do, but then after getting Drew Holiday, you get Porzingis as well. So they're never satisfied. They're always looking to improve the roster of that team, and that's one big thing I see that's better with the Boston Celtics pretty much over any other team in the NBA. They're never satisfied with their roster. They always look to improve, and that's what makes their franchise so elite.
Finally, Mike, your prediction on what will be the outcome come Tuesday?
I see the Boston Celtics winning in 5 games. I'm expecting a really good game from both Brown and Tatum. But another guy I think is going to be playing pretty well is Al Horford. I'm expecting a big game from Al Horford. But don't get me wrong, I would be very excited to see another game back in Dallas. So I hope Dallas puts up a fight. But ultimately, I see this thing over in 5 games and Boston being crowned the new championship.
Okay, Mike, again, thanks much for your insight and wish you all the best. Before you go, let me wish you a happy Father's Day when it comes tomorrow.
Same to you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Blessings. Okay, so that was Mike Roots, broadcast assistant for the Toronto Raptors, sharing his thoughts on the NBA Finals series. With that, we take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Outperform, outlast, with top performance, Jackama, reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electricians. Pan select tools, free parts and free repairs. 3 parts, free repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61114. Delta Supply. We service what we sell.
Taste it, eat it, drink it, applaud it. The 25th staging of the Jamaica Observer Tabletop Food Awards, the Caribbean's premier culinary event, powered by MasterCard, takes place Thursday, June 27th, Devon House. The one-night-only evening of excellence in food creation, service and event decor is sponsored by Tasty, Tourism Enhancement Fund, Red Stripe, Johnny Walker, Sagicor, The Best Dressed Chicken, Appleton Estate, Pepsi, Suppligen, Eve, Gold Silver Cinco, Rainforest, Main Event, Island Car Rentals, King Alarm, Megamart and Derriman Trading. Adults 18 years and over. Drink responsibly.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Station Live. I'm Alric Swaby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. Now, we'll be talking some track and field as we go over to the National Stadium. He is at the J3A's France Fiesta Series. That's Dwayne Richards, CEO of Yardi Sports. But before we speak with him and what's happening there in terms of the J3A's France Fiesta, he also had the pleasure of watching and observing working at the GISA Prep School Championships earlier today. Let me say good evening, welcome, and happy Father's Day when it comes to Dwayne Richards, CEO of Yardi Sports. Dwayne, good evening.
Good evening, Alec, and good evening to listeners, and thanks for the happy Father's Day wishes.
Right, Dwayne, you were at the Prep School Championship, GISA Prep School Championships. Tell us what you saw.
It was 3 glorious days of track and field championships for the prep school athletes. I think they all enjoyed it. It was good weather for the entire time. The athletes certainly seemed to make the most of it, and kudos to St. Peter and Paul. They won it for the very first time 2 years ago, and even last year they looked like they would have gotten the job done, and they didn't. And this year they were emphatic in winning it. They were declared champions with 3 relays to go. So emphatic was a victory, and I'm really happy for them because they've been a school that have been there and thereabouts for a pretty long time. And so out of the willingness each year when you think that you haven't done to finally get over the hurdle. I know that, for them, for the entire school population, entire students, and the principal who is very, very supportive of sport, they're all very happy with what happened today. So kudos to them for being able to finally get over the line.
Right, and any particular event, any particular athletes would have impressed you?
I thought it was an all-round effort for them. They had one particular standout athlete, his name slips me now, but he took the 2-4 double. I actually need to go and get the details on it. But he took the 2-4 double. He says he's headed off to Wilmer's boys. Wilmer's will get a good athlete in that particular athlete. I wondered if he'd be able to take the 400 this morning, but he didn't do the fine style. I thought the boy from Heidel would have challenged him, but he ran a very technical race, proper race. He ran down on his opponent on the back stretch, got level with him early, and then took it home, coming home pretty strong, and he was comfortable in the 200 meters. I thought that he did pretty well, and there were 1 or 2 other standout athletes, but I don't have the details in front of me right now. But what I will say is that it was not a properly run event by GISA. The athletes had 3 good days. There were no major incidents. You can point to this shouldn't have happened, that should have happened. They did a good job again. The GISA team have figured it out. They have a formula that works. And kudos to them for being able to give the thousands of athletes who participated the opportunity to participate in the way that they did.
Right. And I know it's early days yet at the J3's France Fiesta series out there at the National Stadium, but is there anything that you can report on, tell us what's happening?
Well, the French Foray, what we had earlier was a couple of heats for the under-20 girls, 400-meter hurdles, one for the boys and one senior, but even though it was called senior, it's still the same boys that we saw running in high school. I guess they're at the age now where they can be considered senior. So things are just getting going, really. The 200-meter girls we just had one heat of that. The long jump is on at the moment as well. But I think that the anticipation will build as the night goes along because people have heard that Shelly Fraser-Pryce will be running, and I think that has caused a little bit of excitement here at the National Stadium. People have been waiting so long to see Shelly Fraser-Pryce get going for what will certainly be her final appearance at the Olympic Games. They want to see what she has in store. We have the National Championships that will be on in earnest 2 weeks from now. So people are excited. Shelly Fraser-Pryce has certainly etched her name in the halls of Jamaica's track and field and also globally. It's not just Jamaica. So people are excited. The whole world is excited to see what Shelly has to offer. And so I think that we have people who have stayed over from the Prep School Championships to watch. I'm anticipating lots of other people coming in because I'm part of a group that is sports-based, and the chatter since last week has been the return of Shelly Fraser-Pryce. So people are excited. I'm excited. The photographers here are excited. The reporters here are excited. So hopefully we'll have a lot more to talk about as the night progresses, because certainly this Olympic Games, it promises to be something special, and people want to see what Shelly Fraser-Pryce will do when she signs out in August this year.
Okay, Dwayne, again, thanks so much for joining us, and we appreciate it.
Certainly, it's always my pleasure to talk to you guys on Nationwide.
Blessings. Okay, so that was Dwayne Richards, CEO of Yardi Sports, giving us an update on what's happening at the J3A's French Fiesta and earlier the GISA Prep School Championships. We'll take a break and we'll come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Nationwide 90 FM is at it again. Team Revolution will clear every hurdle and sprint to the finish line as we cover the games of the 33rd Olympiad from Paris, the city of love.
Winning by daylight and setting a world record, 9.68. The wind is okay.
Nationwide's coverage is powered by our diamond sponsor, KFC. It's finger-licking good across all locations island-wide.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come with me. Let's go back in time.
This magic moment
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Experience Jamaica's Olympic triumphs in Jamaica Gold, a golden spotlight.
Brought to you by Horton's Pharmacy. Horton's RX-Pack for better medication management.
After Donald Quarry's triumph in the men's 200 meters final at the 1976 Games, Jamaica's athletes would go another 20 years without winning Olympic gold. That cycle was ended in style by Dion Hemmings at the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta. Hemmings became the first ever Jamaican woman to win Olympic gold, taking the 400 meters hurdles in an Olympic record of 52.82 seconds.
And the world champions coming back on Hemmings now, and Buford on the inside. They're absolutely neck and neck, and Hemmings, is she strong enough to take this Olympic title? Batten on the near side, she's stuttered in. Hemmings and Batten, and these three, and Hemmings is going to do it. Hemmings wins it, she's the champion. Batten the silver medalist, Beaufort Bailey the bronze, 52.82, a personal best, a new Olympic record. She's always promised it, but this year she could hurdle, and this year she proved she had the strength. Bronze medalist last time, gold medalist this time. Dion Hemmings is the Olympic champion.
You just experienced a Jamaican Olympic triumph in Jamaica Gold, a golden spotlight.
Brought to you by Horton's Pharmacy. Horton's RX-Pack for better medication management.
Good evening and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I am Alric Sribi. With me is Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. We'll be talking some golf now as the curtain came down on another staging of the Sandals Golf and Jerk Festival at the Sandals Upton Estate Golf and Country Club. Now joining us to talk a bit on what happened is Tournament Director Johnny Newham. Johnny, good evening. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good evening, Sir Sribi. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. Like I said earlier, the curtain came down on this staging of the Sandals Golf and Jerk Festival. Describe for us what it was like.
Yeah, it was a really incredible day. We had 80 golfers plus some other family members and patrons come out to enjoy what was a really fantastic golfing day. We had a fun day of we made it different this year. We had 3 different formats for the golfers to enjoy in their teams of 2, as well as some interactive jerk, 3 different jerk stations on the course. I mean, it was just a really, really fun day that ultimately was a very worthy cause as well.
Right. When I spoke with the public relations manager at Sandals Foundation, Patrice Gilpin, she said that the golfers were eager to get on the course. Did you see that in the performance?
Yes, for sure. We had, as I said, the team of 80 golfers, 40 teams of 2, spread across from all the different parts of the island, and they all had an amazing time. The feedback was incredible. Yes, it was just a very good day. The weather cooperated as well. It was bright sunshine throughout, and it was just a fun day for all.
I know you said a fun day for all, but I'm assuming you're talking about the golfers and those watching. But I gather it would have been a nightmare somewhat for you and the rest of the organizers to organize and execute a tournament with almost 100 golfers.
For sure. There's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes to make such an event successful, but it was all worth it. As I said, the feedback was incredible, and I think we were able to deliver on the wow factor that was our big goal leading into it, is we wanted people to walk away from the event going, wow, that was incredible. And I think we hit our mark.
The overall champion winners were Tajay Loban and Cavani James. I remember James being the winner of the inaugural Kids for Care golf tournament. It seems that this player is a pretty good talent.
Yes, for me that was the icing on the cake for the day, because to have the day culminate with both a current Care for Kids golfer, as you mentioned, Cavani James, as well as a past junior golfer, Tajay, came up through the program with us, represented Jamaica at senior level, and he's moved on now. He still plays golf, but he's no longer a part of the program, but he still gives back and mentors, and he's a great role model for the young kids as well, the way he carries himself and the life lessons that, however small the Upton Estate Care for Kids program was able to play a part in.
Right, and they would have received some exceptional prizes. Thanks to your sponsors. 2 nights stay at Sandals Resort, 2 nights at Beaches Resort. They must be appreciative of these special prizes.
For sure. I mean, obviously give thanks to our parent company for gifting us with these amazing prizes that, reward the hard work of these 2 young individuals. It was another highlight for me was, when we look not just at them, but a number of the other prize winners were a combination of an adult golfer and a junior golfer, which again shows not just the progress we're making at the club itself, but also the progress of our junior program, and it's in a great state as we head into the Caribbean Champs in a couple of weeks here at Caymanas in Jamaica.
Right. And these prizes let me feel like I want to pick up golf and start playing. So
you should. You've been having too many calls for you not to at least give it a try.
Most definitely. Also, the best father and son duo, Keith and Jake Stein, winning the Yam Adventure Park prize. How important was it to involve or put this feature in the Father's Day feature to encourage father and son to play the sport?
It was very important, and it was twofold. One, because of the natural timing of this Father's Day being celebrated tomorrow, so we wanted to make sure that was a part of the event. But also, we recognize that, a number of the members of our junior program are young boys, and we recognize the importance of strong male leadership and mentorship, and we wanted to, celebrate that and honor that, because that goes a long way in development, not just of junior golfers, but of young citizens of this country.
Right, and I guess it wasn't all just fun and games and golf, but there was some tasting of some good jerk as well. How did that went over with the golfers and everyone in attendance?
Yes, it was great. I mean, the golfers loved it because, every couple of holes they got to sample some jerk chicken and some seafood as well, thanks to Rainforest, and chicken thanks to Best Dress. So it was great. We got to, this year we had, 4 different properties, the 3 Sandals Hotel and our own Upton Estate team competing against each other, but in good nature and good spirit, having some fun and showcasing all that the Sandals brand and our little flavor has to offer.
And who came out on top in that race?
Sandals Ochi won the jerk competition.
Okay, so I'm assuming my jerk is coming down on Nutwood Express. I should just go and pick it up when the show is over, right?
Yes, I mean, it may, the traffic, Saturday night traffic, if you don't see it, it's still on its way, okay? It's not, the thought was there. The thought was there.
Right, but this was for a good cause. I'm assuming that you would have raised, but I'm not sure. But how much were you seeking to raise for the hospital as well as the junior golf program?
Yes, we had a target, and I can't say if we met it or not because we still have some final reconciliation to do. But overall, if we haven't hit it, we're going to be very close, and we're grateful to all the golfers and all of our partners that supported the tournament and made it such a success that it was.
Right, and I see you have a long list of sponsors. I don't know if you have it with you. You want to...
I don't have it in front of me, but I know you're going to you're going to make sure that they're taken care of. The major ones for me would be obviously our Sandals and Beaches brand. And then we had 3, as I said, this year we did 3 sections, and each of our major sponsors were a part of that section. So we had a better ball section of 6 holes, and that was sponsored by CIBC. We had another 6-hole segment, which was an alternate shot format, and that was sponsored by Digicel. And we had a third segment, a scramble segment, and that was sponsored by Sandals itself. And then obviously Best Dressed, Rainforest, ATL had a nice car as a hole-in-one prize. Unfortunately, nobody got it this year, but we're going to come back again next year. Tropicar is one of our partners, had another cash prize. I mean, the list goes on and on. Those are just a few, but we couldn't have done it without each and every one of them.
Right. This hole in one, was it for any hole, or there was a particular hole that you had to
There were
hit?
particular holes. Hole number 6 was the Tropicar's hole, where if you did get the hole in one, there would be a $30,000 US cash split between 15,000 would go towards the play and 15 towards the foundation. And then on hole number 13, there was the chance to win the ATL BYD electric car as well.
Okay, no worries. Next year, I'll come out and win
Next year, I'll see you. I'll make sure you're registered bright and early. You should be the first one signing up.
I'll sign up tomorrow morning.
Awesome.
Well, tell me, like you said, it has been a success for both golfers, organizers, and you believe that the charities that will benefit from this tournament.
Yes, I mean, it was an amazing event, as I said, and then we have to a worthy cause, that is the St. Anne's Bay Regional Hospital, which takes care of our region, and there's some amazing things, and we're trying to help, boost their resources to continue doing the great work that they are. And then obviously the Care for Kids program itself on the golf side, which does great things for the community and teaches these young citizens that not everyone is going to be Tiger Woods or make it to the PGA or LPGA tour, but I think we're essentially using golf as a vehicle to learn lifelong lessons, patience, honesty, discipline, to name a few, that ultimately transcend the sport and help them grow throughout life.
And tell me, apart from Cavani and Taji, any other outstanding golfer that caught your eye?
Yeah, I mean, there was some great golf. O'Shea Hay, who's been a national amateur champion with us. He teamed up with Kemari Morris, one of our juniors for the national team as well. They had the best gross score today, meaning the best score without any handicap. We had a few other juniors place as well. Shasta Redleston was in the run-ins. Jerome and his partner were very close. They just missed out on a prize, but very close. So that's just to name a few, but all of our juniors did well, and we're excited for the upcoming Caribbean Champs that we're hosting this year in Jamaica in July.
Okay. And plans are for advance for this Caribbean Championships?
Sorry?
Plans are for advance for this Caribbean Championships?
Yes, for sure. We're deep in our team practice, and even though most of the children here, as you know, end of year exams sometimes gets in the way of practice, but we're going to do our best to balance the two and get ready to hopefully do something we've never done before, which is win the team championships. We've been successful at several levels individually. We've won most, if not all, of the categories on the individual level, but we're yet to bring home the overall team championship, and we're going to strive to do that this year.
Okay, then, Johnny, thanks much for stopping by and sharing some of what happened to the Sandals Golf and Jerk Festival. We wish you and your team all the best.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. And I must say a happy Father's Day to you and the entire Sandals family.
Thank you. Same to you and yours.
Blessings. Okay, so that was Johnny Newham, Tournament Director for the Sandals Golf and Jerk Festival, which ended earlier today. We take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come on, let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Good evening, welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex Raby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. We'll be talking some footballers. Managing Director of Ray and Neville Jamaica, Jean-Philippe Bayer, made 3 big announcements as part of the company's $200 million football program. The program will run for 3 years.
First, let me thank you for joining us for the official launch of what we call in our company the Ray and Neville Football Program. The Ray and Neville Football Program has been created to support our commitment to advance football in Jamaica. To that effect, we have decided to increase and widen our support and investment to the beautiful game. So I'm very happy to stand before you this evening to make some announcements in this regard. But first, a little trip to memory lane. So we began back in 2002, actually, with the Jamaica Premier League. Initially with a 4-year contract, which was then renewed whenever we saw the potential to further positively impact the extended football community. From 2015 to 18, we sponsored the Charlie's JB Super Leagues. Then from 14 to 19, the Magnum and JB Interchange Cassapa Super and Major League. And Campari sponsored the party stand at the Jamaica Premier League from 2021 to 2022. Then last year, we renewed our collaboration with JPL and its new management, as we proudly stepped in as title sponsor with an initial 3-year contract. The remarkable showing of this season, so kudos to Chris and his teams, underscores the profound reach and influence of the Ray and Nephew Jamaican Premier League. In late 2023, we increased our partnership with Casafa, and their debut season under the Ray and Nephew title sponsorship was also nothing short of a remarkable success. So supporting football from grassroots programs to professional leagues is a privilege for us. And I say this because through this partnership, we are not only seeing the triumph of our players and our coaches, but we also witness the profound impact their achievements have on their families and their communities. So, as part of the J. Ray and Nephew football program, let me start to announce, with the first announcement, that in partnership with the Jamaica Football Federation, on top of sponsoring the JPL and Casafa as title sponsors, we will also be the official spirit of the senior reggae boys and senior reggae girls, supporting them in their ambitious dream of qualifying for, and who knows, winning the World Cup? No, maybe not. Qualify, let's start with that. But it's not all. Our second announcement is that also in partnership with the JFF, I'm very happy to introduce the Ray and Nephew School of Football Coaching. And I can hear Chris there, and let me make sure that I give Chris his due, because he was originally an idea suggested by Chris and Owen from the Jamaican Premier League, and we're very thankful for it. So big up, thank you again, because this eventually, reached to today, where we're going to have a curriculum that will focus on training 500 Jamaican coaches annually, spanning from D to A CONCACAF licenses. So this comprehensive training will certify our coaches in order for them to operate at all levels, including at international standard, hopefully fostering a new era of football excellence in Jamaica. This initiative also involved the physical renovation of the existing School of Football located at the University of the West Indies. So there's more. So this is my third and final announcement. is that we have also decided to sponsor directly some stadia. So we're still in discussion with a number of them, but tonight I can announce that we are at the contract stage with Ferdinita Park and Waterhouse Mini Stadium. So the main objective of the deals will be to improve the football experience, of course, for the fans and the players. And there are other elements of these deals that we will reveal during our groundbreaking ceremonies that, of course, you're all invited to, and I hope that you will come and share all this with us. So we strongly believe that the Ray and Nephew football program is a significant step in our mission to help create a robust local football industry that will not eventually command respect on the global stage. And frankly, if our track and record athlete can, there's no reason why our footballers ultimately couldn't, right? Command that respect. But we also strongly believe that the Ray and Nephew football program will be felt positively in the communities, especially in the most disadvantaged one. In truth, this is the main reason why we decided to significantly increase our financial investment behind football to the tune of about $200 million over the next 3 years. So we're very proud to be able to give back to Jamaica through our football program, which will hopefully over time significantly and positively impact Jamaica's social fabric. So in conclusion, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the organizer of the Jamaican Football Federation, our esteemed partner at the Jamaican Premier League and CASAFA. Additionally, I would like to express our appreciation to the Honorable Minister Olivia Grange. Where is Babsi? And so thanks for everything, because she's always has been a solid support and consistently championing our great brands and by extension our beloved Jamaica land we love. So thank you, and let's raise our glass to the Ray and Nephew football program.
Okay, so that was Jean-Philippe Bayer, Managing Director of Ray and Nephew Jamaica Limited. Now, Jamaica Football Federation's JFF Technical Director Rudolph Speed described Ray and Nephew's initiative to train 500 primary school coaches per year for the next 3 years as superb.
I must say, this is a welcome sponsorship to the program. Also, we have the minister who did have a hand in that program, that most ambitious program that we're trying to start with the primary school coaches. Welcome, Madam Minister. The JFF, I must add, has done a few more things than the President alluded to. We also had an under-14 team going to Cayman, but the President didn't remember. They came back this week. The National Under-17 team was in training at the Technical Center, male. National Under-14 female team was in training at the Technical Center. I think it's the first time we have ever had so many football activities in 1 week in the early part of June. But I must say, the program that I'm most proud of is the coaching education program. And that is the one that I really wanted to spend some time on today. 3 years ago, we didn't have a C license coach in Jamaica, 3 to 4 years ago. Now, we have 5 A license coaches in Jamaica. And another 6 is doing their studies. Come July 9th, we start in an A license course in Jamaica. We expected to have 20 of our local coaches in that class. We now have 100 B license coaches in Jamaica, 200 C license coaches, and over 500 D license coaches. But those coaches were really building from the top. We have now embarked on a very ambitious program with the help of Ray and Nephew and the SDF with the minister to certify 500 coaches at the primary and proprietary school level across Jamaica at the D license level, and then bring them up to the C license by July next year. And that has been our most ambitious program. I just want to tell you how important it is. There are all the national teams that do well in the world. Their coaching education program is at the top. Europe and South America, they have the best 2 programs, coaching education program, and that is what we're trying to emulate in Jamaica. So, again, Ray and Nephew, thank you very much for your gesture. We're also going to be modernizing the coaching school that we have at the JFF Technical Center to get equipment to tape coaching sessions and to be able to play them back to show coaches how well they are doing. So again, Ray and Nephew, this would have come at the most opportune time to help the Jamaica football to go forward. And we need to be patient, though. In the next 5 years, you'll start to see. You start to see some of the fruits already. The Premier League is at its best we have ever had it. And I'm sure it will only increase. Better coaches make better players. And that is what we're all about in the coaching school.
And the road of speed. Now, Minister of Sports Olivia Grange says Ray and Neville should be praised for being a good corporate entity.
This evening, we add another to the many partnerships forged between Jamaican companies and sporting bodies, communities, and the government over the years. This partnership with a Jamaican-born company, yes, a Jamaican-born company, J. Ray and Neville. J. Ray Neville Limited is a cause for celebration because not only are we stronger together, but this partnership also highlights our shared passion for football and our vibrant sporting culture, which together have brought so much joy to our people and increased recognition for Brand Jamaica. We continue to strengthen our sporting culture by investing in sports. Yes, government invest in sports and private sector invest in sports. And this includes providing and increasing access to quality education for our coaches and quality resources and facilities for our athletes. When private sector companies and government partner in sports, sustainable growth and improvement at all levels become the key input. So, this government, of which I am the Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, takes this commitment seriously and will continue to give support to all sports, including football, through monthly subventions and special allocations for various sporting events and programs. And I know there may be a question on some of the lips of, for example, the GenSec, JFF, and a couple of media individuals, because I think that there's been some reduction in subvention to some sporting bodies. But I've asked the new STF board to review that position. So I expect that matter to be sorted out soon. But I want to let you know of our contribution to football over the last financial year. It includes 12.6 million to the Jamaica Premier League and monthly subvention totaling approximately 18 million. In 2023, we witnessed the qualification of the Reggae Girls for a second time to the FIFA Women's World Cup, with the girls reaching the round of 16 for the first time in our history. And over $9 million was granted by the Sports Development Foundation as a special allocation towards the qualifications. We also provided an honorarium in excess of $9 million following the World Cup. In fact, since this financial year, the JFF has received approximately $3 million, and it's still early days. So we are therefore grateful for this support from J. and Neville, which is evidence of your company's strong commitment and investment in the future of Jamaican football. 200 million in cash and kind is not a little bit of money. And I really want to thank J. and Neville for putting their money where their mouth is. Sports is a unifying tool. It's great for social intervention, and particularly football. Everybody loves to kick a ball. And so it has tremendous impact on communities. And so I really want to thank Jerry Neville for ensuring that they partner with JFF to ensure that the communities benefit from that partnership. You know, Jerry Neville, the rum, particularly the white rum, is very much a part of our culture. And we have, Jerry Neville has benefited a lot from how Jamaicans use white rum. From soaking that little plant in the bottle, my grandmother used to do that, and use it to anoint her knee when it hurts. To the revivalists and the Kumina people, they're blowing the white rum or using the white rum on the head of the drums and the bandu or the playing cars. To every bar, people just love to play dominoes and drink rum. And so I would say that J. Reneville, they have done the right thing by now going to the grassroots at the youth level, assisting in the training of 500 coaches annually, and covering D to A CONCACAF licenses with guidance from the JFF is something to really be commended. And not only that, they will be upgrading facilities. And of course, government needs all the support it can get from private sector to partner and to do some of the things that everybody expects government to do. So we really welcome this partnership. Let us always lift our game on and off the field, every time and everywhere, because we are stronger together. And that's why I'm here tonight, because this is a good example of how we all can work together to achieve. So I'm pleased to endorse this partnership, which I'm sure will augur well for the growth of football and the success of our teams on their journey to the World Cup between 2024 and 2026. And before I thank you and say God bless you, I know that there is concern about the lights at the National Stadium. Yes, we have had some difficulties. The stadium is 62 years old, and we can't abandon it or we can't demolish it until we have replaced it with something. So the lights have been improved over time, but not sufficiently to have been good enough for football, for CONCACAF. So the lights that were ordered, they are now here. There was some delay, but they are now here. And I want to thank the clubs who we had given lights to, that we had to borrow them to improve on the lighting in the stadium until the lights we ordered arrived. So they are here, and definitely the lighting in the stadium will be improved. But not only that, I speak in the sectoral debate not next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. And I will be making some announcement that I think you all will be pleased about in relation to the National Stadium. I do not want to preempt my presentation, but just to say to you that the rebuilding of the National Stadium, we are now far advanced in relation to signing a particular contract. And I want you all to be assured that this minister is doing her best, trying to get things expedited, because you know the system does not work as expeditiously. But if something can move, you all know I will make it move. And so I just want to assure all of you that there is no obstacle that can stand in the way of us getting a new stadium in the shortest possible time.
Okay, so that was Olivia Grange, Minister of Sports. Before we go to the break, let me jump over to our YouTube channel where we have say good evening to Paul Peart. There's also Lynn Barnett, David Nembar. Go down further, let me see, there's Marigold Weber. Good evening to you all. Beverly Buchanan, good evening. As we go on further, we see Charmaine Walker. We say good evening and happy Father's Day to the fathers on our YouTube channel. And we take a break now, but when we come back, the lines will be open. If you wish to call, the numbers to call are 876-630-9371, 876-630-9372, 876-630-9373, and 876-630-9374. So feel free to call and we'll talk anything sports here on Sports Nation Live. We take a break and we come back with more.
Corian Solid Surface, so versatile and beautiful. It's non-porous, no sealing necessary, renewable and repairable, so easy to clean and maintain, and can be thermoformed into any shape. Choose Corian, the #1 solid surface in the world, when you want beauty and the best for your countertop. Visit Home International Limited, located at 104 Constance Ring Road. Telephone 755-1970 or 924-0437.
Nationwide 90 FM is at it again.
Malay Walker is pulling away another Jamaican win.
Team Revolution will clear every hurdle and sprint to the finish as we cover the games of the 33rd Olympiad from Paris, the city of love.
Here comes Parchment on the outside, all the way under pressure. Handsome Parchment, lands gold. A Jamaican victory in the 110 hurdles.
Nationwide's coverage is powered by our gold sponsor,
Ray and Nephew White Overproof Rum.
Get ready for a show like no other. That's right. Every Sunday from 8:15 p.m. to 9:15 p.m., we're bringing you the Harvest Hour, only on Nationwide 90 FM. Join us as we dive into a soothing religious program created for your mind, body, and soul. The World Harvest Mission Church, creators of the Harvest Hour, is dedicated to making your Sundays God-fearing and saintly. Get a front row seat to moving sermons and affectionate worshiping. That's the Harvest Hour, every Sunday from 8:15 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. Only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Informative, educational, insightful. Let's talk justice. Tackling topics like constitutional rights and reform, domestic violence, and rights issues that affect you. Let's talk justice every Monday starting June 24 from 1 to 2 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. Call in, share your thoughts, be empowered, know your rights, and let's talk justice, ensuring access to justice for all, courtesy of Jamaicans for Justice.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come with me. Let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Variety is the spice of life. That's not just true for entertainment, it's true for investing too. While stocks, bonds, and cash are effective, there are other credible investment options out there. These are alternative investments, ranging from digital options like cryptocurrencies to old school investments like gold, real estate, and private equity. You can invest on your own or via a fund with a curated portfolio of investment options.
Visit barita.com/opportunities for more growth coach insights.
Experience Jamaica's Olympic triumphs in Jamaica Gold, a golden spotlight.
Brought to you by Petrojam E1087 gas promotion, serving Jamaica's energy needs.
Usain Bolt won his first Olympic gold medal at the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, China, signaling the start of a golden era in Jamaican sprinting. The victory gave Jamaica its 8th Olympic gold. It was the first time a Jamaican man or woman was winning gold in the 100 meters at the Olympics. Bolt stunned the world, winning in a world record 9.69 seconds.
And a fair start, Asafa Powell. Usain Bolt is also out well. Here they come down the track. Usain Bolt sprinting ahead, winning by daylight and setting a world record 9.69. The wind is okay. New world record. How easy was that?
Bolt says he gets joy from making the country proud.
Well, 9.69, it's the world's record and Olympic gold medal. Your reaction?
Well, I'm not really worried about the world record. I'm an Olympic gold medalist, so I'm just happy right now.
What could you have run had you not eased up over the last 20 meters?
I'm not even worried about that, really. I'm just happy I won.
What about winning the first gold medal for your country?
Yo, that's brilliant. I told them I'm coming here to come do this, and that's what I did. So I know the country must be going crazy right now, so I'm just happy with myself.
You just experienced a Jamaican Olympic triumph in Jamaica Gold, a golden spotlight.
Brought to you by Petrojam E1087 Gas Promotion, serving Jamaica's energy needs.
Okay, good evening and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alric Swaby. This is our final segment of the show. And again, we invite you to call if you wish to do so. The numbers are 876-630-9371, 876-630-9372, 876-630-9373, and 876-630-9374. No, let me pause again to say congratulations to St. Peter and Paul for winning the GISA Prep School Championships. It's the first time they are winning the competition. But we're talking some cricket now as host Sri Lanka women beat the West Indies by 6 wickets in the first of 3 one-day internationals. Batting first, the Windies were bowled out for 195 inside 48 overs. Captain Hayley Matthews top scored with 38. She was supported by Stefani Taylor 33 and Shermaine Campbell 27. Sungandika Kumari and Kavisha Dilhari took 3 wickets each for the hosts. Chasing 196 to win, Sri Lanka reached the target inside 35 overs. Arshitha Shamarwikrama made 44, Asini Pereira 43, Vishmi Guranet 40, and Shimari Athapatu 38. Afi Fletcher and Ali Allen bagged 2 wickets each for the Caribbean women. Final scores: West Indies women 195, Sri Lanka 198 for 4. Here's what Matthews had to say after the game.
I think the conditions were actually pretty decent today out in the middle. It was very hot and humid, but that's definitely something that we expected coming down to Sri Lanka. And I think one of the reasons we would have come down and had the camp before as well to kind of get accustomed to the conditions. And yeah, the wicket wasn't too bad either. I think probably a bit of varying bounce early on. But yeah, nothing to change the game massively, so pretty decent conditions overall. Yeah, not our best game, but at the same time, I think there are still positives we could take from it. I think the fact that some of our top order were able to get starts shows a decent sign, and I think we were definitely set to put on a really big score early on, and unfortunately lost wickets in clumps, which I think hampered us. But the fact that we were able to build 1 or 2 partnerships at the top of the order shows that we have it in us to, I guess, kind of set a really big platform, and hopefully in the next 2 games be able to build and grow on that. I think following up on the last question, just having set batters in coming towards the end of the innings, like I said before, we had a lot of starts, but no one was able to carry on and make a really big score, so we just continued to lose wickets at regular intervals. So if we could improve on that, and then I think in the bowling and the fielding department, we were probably a bit loose early on. A matter of fact, throughout the entire innings, and gave them a bit too many boundary balls. So I think just our consistency today on a whole wasn't the best, but at the same time, it's the first game of the series. We definitely have a lot to build on. And yeah, I think the way that Aaliyah Aline and Afi Fletcher, they were definitely two bright sparks with the ball in hand. Aaliyah breaking the crucial partnership up top and giving us a chance in the middle there to kind of get back in the game after they got off to a flare. And then, yeah, Afi just being her regular self, going out there and bowling her leg spin and being able to take some wickets and challenge the batters and keep things tight as well. So, look, I think the first game of the series, and obviously not the result we wanted, but a lot to build on and grow on moving into the second and the third game.
Okay, so that was Hayley Matthews, captain of the West Indies women. Now on to some footballers. Information has emerged over what led up to the farcical inclusion of Aston Villa winger Leon Bailey into Jamaica's 26-man squad for the Copa America tournament in the United States starting next week. Bailey's name was in the squad that was announced, but merely minutes later, the player himself took to his social media page to hint otherwise. It is now coming to light that Bailey's representative, Craig Butler, was called by JFF General Secretary Dennis Chung for a meeting on Monday. Also at that meeting was Chairman of Professional Football Jamaica Limited, Chris Williams. At the meeting, Butler pointed out 5 areas the JFF must address before Bailey agrees to return. Among them, that Bailey gets his own personal security when he is with the national team, first-class flight, his own room, a review of the players' contracts, and that Rudolph Speed be removed as head of the technical committee if he continues to be the head of Premier League champions Cavalier. It was also agreed that if Bailey agrees to join the squad, he would miss the first game against Mexico on June 22 because he is keeping his party on June 21 in Kingston. Our reporter William Mitchell was following the moving parts of this seemingly never-ending saga. Now, the Jamaica team is due to fly out to Houston on Sunday to prepare for the tournament. Head coach of Jamaica's senior men's football team, Hamir Hallgrimson, says they have moved on from Leon Bailey's decision not to represent the country at the Copa America tournament.
Coach, the squad has been announced for the Copa America this summer. Talk to us a little bit about the squad that has been selected.
There's not many surprises in the selection. It's more or less the players that we have been playing the last year and a half. A group of players that have done pretty well for Jamaica. It was a little bit different. The rules from Common Bowl for Copa America, the rule change is that normally it's a 23-man squad. But in this case, both in Copa and in the Euros, coaches and federation can name a 26-man squad. We thought a 23-man squad is enough for Jamaica. Normally, the playing time for a few players is not much in a competition like this. So we went for a 23-man squad and opted to have 3 senior players.
Okay, so that was head coach of the Reggae Boys, Hamir Hallgrimson. Now, that's all the time we have for today. Let me say a special thanks to all those who made the show possible. Shanika Johnson, Abigail Linton, Joseph Reds Pereira, Shanika Jones, Teresa Beckford, Mike Roach, Jean-Philippe Bayer, Rudolph Speed, Oliver Grains, Haley Matthews, Dwayne Richards, and Hamir Hallgrimson. I'm Alric Swaby, and on behalf of my technical operator Kevin Williams, just want to say God bless and good night. And we leave you with this special song as we say a happy Father's Day to all the fathers of Nationwide Radio and our listeners. Happy Father's Day.
Tall and full of questions. You must have thought I was the smartest man alive. I didn't have all the answers to every little sky so blue today? Does Jesus really hear me when I pray? When I grow up, will I be just like you? Will I be tall and strong and brave? There is no power on earth like your Father's love, so big and so strong as your Father's love. A promise that's sacred, a promise from heaven above. No matter where you go, always know you can depend on your Father's love, especially when it's cold, especially when you're lonely, when your little heart's just trying to find its way. And I know the world is always changing, but remember, son, some things never change. Even when my life on earth is through, there will still be part of me in you. 'Cause some things are forever, nothing's ever gonna take my love from you. There is no power on earth like your Father's love, so big and so strong as your Father's love. A promise that's sacred, a promise from heaven above. Did I hug enough? Did I care enough when you most needed me? Was I there enough to make you feel the power of your Father's love?
Come into the parlor, there's a